Yes, it's silly season. It's as the transfer window approaches, we are following everything, all Chelsea transfer activities as they happen. And if you want to stay up to date on what's happening, be sure to be part of the Blue Morning Show. And more importantly, we don't just suck up to whatever we see out there. We look at them, we analyze them, and come to a sensible conclusion so we don't fall into the trap of fake news out there. So with that, I say sit back and relax, and let's get into it. Yes, people, welcome back to the Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you. But more importantly, Blue Morning, because it is indeed the Blue Morning Show. Today we're going to talk about what we're hearing, that Thomas Tuchel has been given the power to take control, to be the one to choose the player he wants the club to sign. We also talk about Bastoni updates and Bastoni. Then we will try and look at the DMs available, including Bissouma, including Declan Rice, and also Sangaré. So which of them will fit perfectly into Thomas Tuchel's way of preferred way of approaching the game? And we'll also talk about Ethan Ampadu, whether he should be given a chance. So with that, we're going to get into the show, but I beg you to please give me a second to take a sip of my coffee so I don't slip off, because this is 3 a.m. here. Thank you very much. It's a very, very nice coffee, and it's going to be a long one today. So I'll start by looking at what we have in the chat, then we'll come back to the topics we want to talk about. And this is Lamb Land. Always, you beat Phantom to it today. And I really want to see that. So he says, a Blue Morning coach and everyone joining. We have a first signing under the Boehly era, Yves Bissouma, a French player for the ladies team, a right back. At least that is something. And again, I'm still not concerned about the men's team. If you ask me, I'd say I believe the club are under the radar, doing their business as usual, and that is the way Chelsea operate. So I wouldn't be concerned one bit. And here, Lee says, just saying Colin Lamb's name, and they saying hello to each other. And Perry Ebanks, my Jamaican brother, nice to see you here again. I appreciate all the support from everybody, all the returning, followers. That goes a long way for the channel. He says, big up and good morning, my Chelsea family, straight from Jamaica Heights, brother, and bless up. Nice to see you here. And today, Phantom didn't make it as the number one. He's the 14th to hit the like button. Sorry, Phantom, you lost today. Blue morning, everyone says, hey, Suleiman, nice to see you, brother. You go here, word says, glad everyone is alive and well. Good to see you all. Good to see you too, brother. Always active, my Niger brother. I hail you, special Coachella. I hail you too, one day. God bless you. Blue morning, everyone. And All Stars Tournament says hello. Hello to you too. All Stars Tournament says, I have an interesting suggestion. Go ahead, brother. I'm listening to it. Good morning, my brother. I'm listening and watching your show. Your show is very enlightening. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And if you're in the chat, please just take a second to let us know where you're watching from. We're already under 4 minutes. We have 18 likes. That's brilliant. So it looks like we're on fire today. You guys are absolute legends. And as you're starting to watch, whether you are in the chat or not, please keep liking the video. Let's shoot for 200 likes today, because the more you like the video, the more people we'd be able to reach, and the more people we'll have here, the more fun it will be. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and of course hit on the bell notification button. So now let's keep going here. Let me see, I'm going to read that. I'm seeing it in the in the YouTube window, I haven't seen it in the back end, but it says a Lukaku swap for Bastoni or Skriniar plus cash. Here's the thing here. Inter has to balance the books. I forgot what date exactly. So it is not that straightforward doing business with Inter at this moment. They need more money. So it's not like giving them a player would do them any good, except if it would be Lukaku with cash. And I don't think Chelsea would do that. We still owe them 70 million plus. And they need to, I think the rumors are, the talks are, they need to balance the books and show a profit of around 50 million. So that's why they're saying they need to sell a big name. And those that are being included in the list of the big names include Bastoni and what's his name? Lautaro Martinez. So it's not that simple. Inter need money. They don't need player, really. That's why they're reluctant with the Lukaku deal. You could argue that. Shadrach and Kruma, good morning, bro. Please, how are you? Please, Rice is good for Chelsea. Again, that's your suggestion. I'm not the manager, but the rumors are that the manager likes him, but it remains to be seen. Is he my preference? I'd say no. I have all the players that I think, given what I know of them, they will be better suitable for Thomas Tuchel's way of approaching the game. Usually might say they officially fired a loan move for Lukaku. Yes, but here's where I think Chelsea will have a problem with that. We owe Inter 70 million plus. Now, if they come for a loan move, good. But the question is it with an obligation to buy or with an option to buy? If it is with an option to buy, then it is a stupid deal, a really, really stupid deal, because Inter would just use them at the end of the season, realizing we still owe them quite a lot of money, and say, we don't want him because Lukaku is approaching 30. He's not getting any younger, so it doesn't help them. So that's why I think they'd prefer with an option, to buy and not an obligation to buy. I hope that helped answer your question. What about the Ligt rumors? I think the Ligt rumors, I think it's one that I think you must tamper with with how do I phrase this, common sense. The buyout clause on his contract right now is around 120 million plus, and I don't think Chelsea will be willing to pay such amount for him. And that's why he's also reluctant to renew his stay at Juventus. He's asking them to reduce the buyout clause before he renews his stay at extend his stay at Juventus. So it's not that simple. Do you really think Chelsea would pay 120 million plus, even 100 for De Ligt? I don't see that happening. But we'll see. Just remember, I said I don't see it happen. If it happens, I'd take it because I like the player, but I'd be surprised. Coutinho, De Ligt swap, it remains to be seen whether Juventus would like to do that business. We'll see what happens. De Ligt, Kounde, and at the back will be fine. But I'm telling you, when you talk about De Ligt, you're probably talking about him leading the back line when Thiago Silva isn't playing. I think I'd ask for a more experienced player in that position, but I still believe De Ligt can do it because he's proven he's a leader. I think you may well feel like what people think he's underperformed in Italy is because he's the youngest of the centre backs that he played with, and he's covering for them because due to their lack of pace. But that's by the way. So now again, I'm going to ask you, please, if you haven't, keep liking the video. And again, I cannot thank you enough for the immense support I've gotten from all of you, even the returning, followers and also the new followers. You guys are absolute legend. I do appreciate that. Again, I think I see something, even though I haven't seen it at the back end. He says, this is a Buyamba update. I'm not sure what the case is. I think at the point, the case, correct me if I'm wrong, was that the academy needed all the capable players they could get because they were battling a relegation. And I don't know if that's really truly the case because I haven't started following the academy, the youth team as much as I should, but I think I'll start doing that very soon. And again, by the way, we're looking for a female presenter or host. So if you know anybody that'd be interested, tell the person to reach out to me. Now, let's start one interesting one. Let's start with the Bastoni story Rumors are that we're looking at him, and Tottenham are also looking at him. But he's come out and stated that he's not aware, he's not been made aware of those links to all the clubs. But then again, do I want Bastoni at Chelsea? I'd say no. I think there are all the better options we should be looking at. They include Gvardiol and also Cucurella. But the rumors are that Cucurella would prefer to join Man City. But I still say we still have a chance as long as they haven't assigned him. Mbuyamba was compared to Van Dijk. Yep, that's the truth, because at his age, if you see him play, you'd agree that he's plays more. That is, his displays look more mature than his age. He's such a fine player, and I think Chelsea. He's under contract at Chelsea for just 2 years, so probably has a year left on his contract. And given how confident of a player he is, which was why he left Barcelona in the first place, if he's not given the chance, the pathway, if he doesn't see the pathway to the first team, I think he ends up leaving Chelsea. It's that simple. Again, it says if we sell the players we want to sell, Kepa 15 million, Jorginho 20 million, Barkley 15 million. I don't think you'd get 15 million from Barkley. Again, in the case of Barkley, he's on a high wage. What other club would, you would say are the winning clubs that are willing to buy him, could consider or would consider a high wage? He's on a very high wage, and that's one of the reasons why we were not able to get him out of the door this last transfer window. So Barkley, I don't think you'll get up to 15 million from him. Plus, I don't think he has so much left on his contract. If you know how many years he has left on his contract, please to let me know. Yeah, we'll get some millions from selling those players, but the question remains, who take them, given how much the salary that they are on. I think selling Jorginho will be easier because Juventus really they do want him. But let's see what happens. It looks like, if you ask me, I'd say Jorginho has started playing the game that Rudiger played. Before you know it, we'll be talking about him leaving on a free. I hope that's not the case, because the truth is Thomas Tuchel likes him and may well, decide to keep him, and he'd be looking for a higher salary. And before you know it, where we were with Antonio Rudiger and Andreas Christensen, should we try to integrate him into the team as a backup centre-back? It depends on his form currently, and it depends on how Thomas Tuchel sees him, but there's no way to tell, okay? All these players could be sold to Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle will focus on making all their transfer purchases from Chelsea Football Club. I don't think that will be the case. Also, tournament, I think Mbuyamba could be going out on a championship loan this season, or staying in the Premier League team. And Lee, can you tell me how many years does he have on his contract? That's where I am really concerned. This is my brother Declan here saying, big up, coach, and chat. Big up to you too, brother. Nice to see you here. Okay, as I was saying, Bastoni isn't my first choice. I wouldn't say, again, my first choice is Cucurella, who I've argued that he'd perfectly fit into a Thomas Tuchel style of play, or Gvardiol, if you want to, if you prefer. Those are the players I'm looking to see. Either of the two players are the players I'm looking to see at a Chelsea Football Club. Now, something else I want to talk about is, what we're hearing out there, the talks that Todd Boehly'ss, he's decided, to give Thomas Tuchel the ultimate power, the control over what players the club will sign. I think that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be in the first place. He's the manager. He's the one, who decides. He's the manager. He's the one that, decides on the tactics, on the approach with which to tackle each and every game that the club plays. So in the first place, he should be the one to decide what players to sign. So if the case has always been the opposite at Chelsea, you'd wonder if that has always been the reason why we have so much the so-called deadwood, millions of them at the club. So that shouldn't even surprise anybody. In the first place, Thomas Tuchel should be the one to say, that's the player I want to help me implement the way I want to play the game. I want the other player. I want that player. I want player A, B, C, or so. So it shouldn't be a surprise. To me, I don't know why it is actually being talked about like it's, it's something new. So I really hope Mbuyamba becomes a first team player. I do hope so also because he's got the talent. And as I've mentioned, if you see him play, you think you're watching a player who's in his late 20s, whereas he's just, he's, I think, how old is he now? Is he up to 20 now or around 21? I'm not sure, but the kid is way too mature, for his age in terms of the way he plays and how calm he's on the ball. I think we're all due. Yep, we all do. Yep, that's the truth. And Lee, if you can help me, how many years does he have on his contract? I want to know if that's something you know about. And here, Mazim Imran says Martinez, Skriniar, or Bastonia. Again, I don't know Skriniar very well. I haven't watched him that much, and I'm not sure I even know the player himself. I'm not gonna lie to you, but Bastoni I've seen. But I look in the Premier League. I look at somebody like Bissouma. I'd also look at Sangaré. Two of the players I know. Sangaré, I think we'll talk about the differences between Sangaré and Bissouma and how they differ from Rice. Again, it says, Coach, Mbuyamba, how old is he? I want to know and how many years he still has on his contract, because I'm concerned we may end up losing him. He's a very confident player, and one of the reasons why he left Barcelona in the first place was because he felt like he didn't see the path to the first team. He's that confident. Yeah, that his first name is Xavier, last name is Mbuyamba. Bissouma is a top-notch player indeed, no question in that. I would want him at Chelsea because he's press resistant. He can dribble his way out of tight spaces. He doesn't panic, no matter how aggressively you press him. He can still progress the ball. So to me, you'd argue, and then if we have him in the team, if Kovacic isn't playing, you can still have a player who'd help us, you fulfill that hybrid kind of number 8 that Kovacic fulfills for the team. That's why I'd like a Bissouma, but we'll get into it. Again, we've talked about how it's strange that we're all going like, woohoo, yeah, Thomas Tuchel has all the power to decide what player he wants at the club. And, again, it should be like that in the first place, so we shouldn't even be surprised that that's happening. It's not new. That's the way it should be in the first place. Now, let me see what we have in the chart before we move on. Here we see why is none talking about making a big for Casemiro. Look at it's a move that wouldn't make sense at all. Again, ask me why I say that. Here's the thing: the Chelsea fans' biggest concern is that N'Golo Kante is aging. Yeah, but he's 30, and that's no different. Casemiro is no different. He's aging too. I think he's 30 plus on his own. So it wouldn't make sense to do away with N'Golo Kante, who's already well acquainted with the pace and physicality of the Premier League, and go get Casemiro. Casemiro is not better than N'Golo Kante in the DM role, and also the way Kante fulfills that role is very different. That will never be on another N'Golo Kante. So I don't think it will make sense to go for Casemiro and let N'Golo Kante go, as I'm hearing that Manchester United wants him. Good morning, says Jeffrey Duncan. Nice to see you here, Jeffrey. Again, pardon me. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Yeah, Jeffrey says, good morning to you too, brother. Simon Phillips just tweeted, the Ousmane Dembele chose Chelsea, a matter of time. Again, is it done? It's not done. But what are we learning from that? That is, how do people and Simon Phillips and all the, and all the journalists come to the conclusions that Ousmane Dembele is most likely to join Chelsea Football Club? There are a couple of factors that can help you come to that conclusion. One, he came, he was in his best, or in the form of his life under Thomas Tuchel at Borussia Dortmund. So I wouldn't be so it wouldn't be surprised to see that he'd prefer playing under Thomas Tuchel again. Plus, he's leaving Barcelona on a free, and also given that there are talks out there that he's rejected PSG, or that PSG has pulled out of from the fight, if you want to put it that way, to sign him. So the clear, destination would be Chelsea Football Club. And you also, if you recall how Thomas Tuchel talks about him when asked if it's interested in bringing Ousmane Dembele to Chelsea Football Club. So that is we don't need a rocket scientist to help us come to the conclusions. A conclusion is that Ousmane Dembele will be coming to Chelsea Football Club, but it is a complicated deal because he's living on a free, because there'll also be a sign-on fee involved. Also, he comes on a very high wage, and also there's a chance that Chelsea will be looking to get him to take a wage cut with the agreement. Okay, let's see how things go here. If you remain injury-free to a certain point, then we'll look at the deal and maybe give you a better deal. And also, there's a chance Chelsea may be looking to get him, to say, oh, look, we're aware of your past, but we're not concerned of that. But because we're a business entity, we're looking to be proactive in terms of from a PR perspective to avoid losing sponsors, to avoid tarnishing, raising questions regarding our stance on discrimination, racism, on order. That's what Chelsea stands for. So I don't think Chelsea will just sign him and not look to be proactive from a PR perspective, because that thing, his past is not something you can easily sweep under, that can be easily swept under the rug. Do I think that he's a changed person? Yes, I think he's a changed person, because I heard he's a family man now, and it could have been, there's a chance it was just an ignorant mistake, because he didn't know it was going to amount to that. Do I think he will ever try such again? No. And again, I believe in salvation, like Bobby would say, but that's, by the way, we move on. Now, his contract is until 2023, and he is 20. Thank you very much for that information, Lee, which means he has just 1 year on his contract. And if he, like I've argued, he's a very confident player. And I do believe if he doesn't see a path to the first team, I think he may well leave, because the truth is also there will not be shortage of buyers, because he is a talented player. Again, we have Casemiro is old. That's another way to phrase it. Yeah, we shouldn't be looking at him. I wouldn't say he's old, but if we're talking about letting N'Golo Kante go, why should we even consider going for Casemiro? What's the difference? N'Golo Kante is better. He knows the Premier League very well. Casemiro will still need time to adapt to the Premier League. Good morning, Blue Morning, Coachila. Thank you very much, brother. And everyone in the chat. Big up everyone. Say DJ Sab. Nice to hear that, brother. Again, Simon is legit. Yes, I know he's legit. But what I'm saying, the same thing he's saying. He didn't come out and say that the deal is complete. Again, you heard the way he phrased it. And with that, I want to ask us here, we have 29 people watching, and we are into 23 minutes into the show. Please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video, to show that you are enjoying the show, to show that you're also happy that our club has overcome one of the darkest periods in our history, but I know we're stronger and better. So please do like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And this update from DJ Saab here says, Dembele has not rejected PSG. Thank you for that correction. But the rumors are that they've pulled out. Is that correct? The new sporting director, Campos, does not want him. Oh, now I get it. Had Leonardo stayed as director, he would have chosen a PSG. That was his preference. And why do you think the new director doesn't want him? Should we say because of his history? Oh, I don't know. But you let me know. Thank you for that update. That's why the Blue Morning Show is a brilliant show. We get updates from those in the chat also. A good Blue Morning to you, Coachila. Blue Morning to you, Queen of the House, Just Viola. Please, if you can help me as soon as possible, can you put together the list of those, the participant in the Roman Abramovich giveaway contest, so that we can do the draws and see who faces who, and then we'll educate the participant on how the show will go. I hope we start that in a few days. Uh, hey, to everyone, it says, just feel okay. Again, Liam, nice to see you here. A marriage is something that has a way of discipline a man. Yep, of disciplining a man. That's the truth. Since Dembele got married, he's been injury free. That's another way. That's funny, but anyway, marriage can change your life in a very, very positive way. Positive way. But the truth is, it can also go downhill. Again, it can affect you in a very negative way, though. But the truth is, it looks like his own has influenced his life in a very positive way, impacted his life, if you want to say it that way. That's a good sign. And kudos to his wife. Yep. Thank you to her for doing a good job in making sure he's a changed man. Nice to see True Blue here, always in the chat, providing a great value. Says, let me see if I missed anything here, DJ. Our prayers to our youth man, Eric. Sorry to hear that. So rest in perfect and prayers for his family. Sorry to hear that in the first place. Has Lukaku left yet? A argument? I don't know. You tell us. I haven't heard anything. Again, Buyamba, since he came to also from Barcelona, he hasn't progressed as much as has the academy up. Would have liked. I know his injury problems, but he still needs to show the academy his worth keeping. He has to show that there first before we consider bringing him into the first team. Lukaku isn't interested to play for Chelsea anymore. That's just the truth. And that's what makes it a very difficult situation if he stays. Damien Duff, I like that name. Nice to see you here, brother. He says, unfinished business everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes. Yep, that's the truth. I think it's about time we call the marriage quit. Yep. Call it quits. Yep. True Blue, good morning to you, says Michael Atto. Again, Alfred Talis, is that Chiname? Let me know, or Chiname. Lukaku should just leave. It's not that simple. And again, it's complicated. And from what I'm hearing, given the fact that he's involved in lawyers, it makes the situation even more complicated. But that's not, by the way, I hope he gets his wish, because if he leaves, his departure will be good for both parties. So I want to just set a poll here to ask those in the chat a question. Let me see what you think, because the rumors that Manchester United wants to sign N'Golo Kante isn't going away. It's actually, becoming bolder and bolder by the day. We're hearing the Manchester United, they're suspicious that N'Golo Kante camp may well be using them to try to get a better deal for his client, for his clients side, because he's talking to Chelsea already, I heard, or will be talking to Chelsea soon. So they're thinking it may well be a strategy by the N'Golo Kante camp. But then again, they want to test the waters to see if they can get him. So I'm going to put out the poll there and see what everybody there think, and I'll get back to the chat again. Okay, should Chelsea sell Kante to Manchester United? Because I've spoken to a few people on the panel here, the likes of the club, who argued that the club will be better off selling N'Golo Kante now. And I think from a business perspective, he makes a solid argument. Why do I say that? Because we have a new owner who has indicated, that he won't be spending recklessly, who will learn, will not just be spending the money for the sake of it. And also, I think that you could argue that includes looking at the age of players, looking at the input of players, seeing if it is worth paying the player the money, the amount he's asking for his salary. And in the case of Kante, Declan argued, it's not been, of late, he hasn't been the N'Golo Kante that we had 2018, 2019, and 2020. We're seeing his decline, but I argued otherwise, given that people are judging him, unfairly, given the period that it seemed as if he's lost form. That it seemed the period was when he was fasting, and it starts games for us just 15 minutes after breaking fast. Those things should come into consideration, but I just don't know. But I truly do understand his argument, but I don't think the club will sell him if you ask me. Let's see what we have here. And again, if you're watching, if you haven't, do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here we have DJ Sab said, just another update. The reason why the Dembele deal has gone a code is because he's still contracted to Barcelona until the 30th of June. So no move can be done until then. Now it makes perfect sense. So that's why I'm confused why Grimes came out with the news that the Lukaku deal, that the Dembele deal has been completed. And again, most people sucked up to it. And I still have people arguing. I think Hugo Harewood also is one of those that's arguing that Grimes is legit. But I don't think the deal is by any means, completed at this point. It says, yeah, the Queen says, hi, like the video, guys, hit the like button. It is for free. It doesn't cost anything. Let's complete the starting 11. We will in a bit. We have just, I think, 2 positions to complete. We will complete it. And remember, let me show us where we are before I continue, because this is an interactive show. I will always, try to help everybody catch up. Let's try and look at, again, this is where we are, I think, and this is what we've done. We have just the number 9 position, to complete the process. And again, here's why this is unique. The way this approach is unique is nothing is certain. We will be following the development, Chelsea's activities in the transfer window. And if there's any need to change anything anywhere, we will revisit the lineup and change it. And we will not stop until the transfer window is closed. Then we can say, okay, this is where we are with the whole thing. But at the moment, this is where we'll stop, and we'll try and complete it today. I say so, Lukaku arguably has the worst mentality in football, the most unprofessional player I've seen. The situation is just complicated because of the price we paid for him, and we still owe Inter some money. So that's another good comment there that makes perfect sense. And we'll see whether we'll be able to get out of the situation. Again, I'm going to try them as much as I can to catch up. Again, says Matthijs, all Chelsea to United. Next, Kante. I hope he doesn't go there. I hope he doesn't. But again, if we sell him, I prefer us selling him to a club like PSG and not to Manchester United, because he'd help them win trophies, and then we'll look back and ask ourselves why we decided to sell him to Manchester United in the first place. Because he's better. Even on his worst day, I'd say he's better than Matic. That's how much I respect N'Golo Kante, and believe me, he's that good. But that's by the way. Now, let me see. If you're watching, please do let me know where you're watching from. I really are. Yeah, it's a no every day. I get what you're talking about, and twice on a week. Again, if you haven't, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel, and please let me know where you're watching from. Who are new Chelsea signings? None at this point. And like I always tell our followers, if you're here, do not believe that any deal is complete until you see the player holding a Chelsea shirt. That's when you'd say, yes, we've signed a player. A trade for McTominay and Fred. Nope, I don't even want Fred at Chelsea. I don't think it's a Chelsea level. I don't even want McTominay. Why we still have Mason Mount. I think you could argue, yeah, that's where no. And we're bringing Conor Gallagher back. So I don't think it would be a trade that would make sense for us at all. And here we say, Tuchel rates Kante highly. Man, yep, I remember all those descriptions. He will never sign off on his transfer to a direct Premier League. But then again, we have a very, very serious situation at hand, which is the fact that I think he has just 1 year left on his contract. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or even if it is 2 years, I think it's winding down, but I think it's a year. So again, he's going to be looking for the best he can get. And given that he's 30 plus, so if he doesn't get it, he may well look elsewhere. And again, like I said a million times, a zillion times, a trillion times on this channel, that as much as it is business for the club, it is business for the players too. Football is what they play to earn money and put on the table for their family. So at this age, I think Kante will be looking for what's best for him and his family. Kante has to stay. Let him have a well-earned rest on holidays this summer and utilize him in the deeper role. Yep, and not let him run too much next season to save his legs. He can play. This is such a delicious comment. I love it. And I think Thomas Tuchel may well be looking at that. I think if we play him that way, if we play him reservedly, we still get the best out of him. He is still that good. He still reads the game very well. He's still capable of breaking up, games. It just seemed a bit rusty for me, that a period where the Chelsea fans were all out complaining how bad it's been. I think you have to consider some factors. He was fasting and only starts playing 15 minutes after breaking his fast. And he got injured, and it's just returning from injuries. He was match rusty. But again, we're very impatient and quickly seem to forget, how good of a player he is on his day. And this is the same guy who wasn't fully fit and helped us win the Champions League. This is the same guy who was half fit and helped us win the European Europa Cup under Mauricio Sarri. So I think Thomas Tuchel understands that quite well. If we were to sell N'Golo Kante or any top players, we should not sell to a rival. We shouldn't even consider, entertaining any offers for N'Golo Kante. It will be a colossal mistake if you ask me. If PSG coming off a Kante, sell, but not to United. Again, it remains to be seen whether Thomas Tuchel would sign off on that. Like one of us said, selling Kante to United will be a terrible mistake. There's only one N'Golo Kante, and again, he still have a lot to offer. Rashford is on the move. Should we go for him? I think he will do well under Thomas Tuchel, given his style of play. I think on his day, he doesn't shy away from taking on opposition players. But the question is, does Thomas Tuchel want him? I don't know. We'll see what happens. And will Manchester United sell to you? I don't see that happening. Often we sell to them, but they're usually reluctant to sell to us. Man and DJ, I keep telling people that Rudiger is still being paid by CFC. Yep, until his contract is on with Chelsea is finished. But then again, I don't want to talk about it anymore. People are judging him based on his form last season, but we are not considering other factors that may have cost it. Yeah, people are quickly to judge him without considering those factors. That's a real bummer. It is indeed. Kante still has fire in him. He does, yeah. Why sell him or even sell him to a strong opponent? That's another argument. Not saying when will Chelsea decide to sign a new player? They are working on it. And please, can we all just calm down? Just be patient. You will be hearing quite a lot soon. And remember, the window hasn't even opened. Even the domestic and the European window hasn't even opened. What ESC Grimes means was that the agreement was in place, not that the move was done. I think the way she phrased it or he phrased it leaves room, for interpretation. So it was easy for people to look at it and say, "Oh, it's done." So but then again, you could argue that for Grimes. Can we make a lineup with a back four? If you want, we'll give that a shot. But then again, that may mean, because we're going to try to be objective with that may mean we'll push her to look. I think we still have the players that will fit in perfectly in the back four, but let's see what happens. Back in the hierarchy, just saying hi to each other. I see no sense in selling a player like Kante. It doesn't make sense at all. Thank you for saying that, Tosin Musa. Please, you haven't. I asked you, please do tell me where you're following the channel from. That makes us happy. It helps us understand how far we're reaching, how far wide we're reaching people. If you haven't, please do like the video. We have 104 people watching, and we have just 43 likes. We can do better than that. Please keep liking the video. You go ahead and said Graham actually announced Tchouameni deal in May 24th. So that's why you're arguing the so she could be right. Can Chelsea look for a striker than selling N'Golo Kante? Let's see what happens. Please, honest question, is Gallagher actually good on the ball or off the ball? That's a pretty difficult question. What I can say about, and I'm going to try, like True Blue will say, no smart answers if you ask you such questions. I'm going to try to be smart with my answer. He's good off the ball, really, because he presses quite well. He can pressure you to make a mistake. He can get in the box. He gets himself. Technically he's good, but I'm not sure his ability on the ball. I'm not sure how good he is on the ball, that doesn't mean I'm correct. Maybe I need to pay more attention to how he plays to give you a definite answer on that, on his ability on the ball. But sorry if that doesn't answer your question. Yes, 1 year left, so that's a huge risk. 1 year left on Kante's contract. 1 year left on Billy Gilmour's contract. Those are the two people that I'm really pissed about. Gang Felix says, Gang Felix, I'm watching from Nigeria. Thank you very much, my Niger brother. Nice to see you here. And if you haven't, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. We see welcome players' names trending on Twitter. Yep, we'd see that. Like, subscribe, and share as much as you can. Share on whatever social media platforms where you have presence, so to speak. Share on Twitter, or share on Facebook. Share on whatever social media platforms where you do have presence. That will help us reach more people. So I sincerely do appreciate your support. Let me see if there's any update here from anybody. It says that Tuchel does rate N'Golo Kante. Yes, we've heard him talk about him on occasions. He also knows we've had his best years, and maybe it's time to let him go. Do you think that's the case? But let's see what happens when he leaves Chelsea. Kante is a star man. He is indeed. Says Grimes generally gets her information correct. So if she's saying Dembele to Chelsea is happening, I believe her. Players can talk to clubs and agree personal terms, but cannot sign and register until July 1st. Okay, that may well be the case. Let's see what happens. I don't think Tuchel will sell Kante. I don't think so. Too, he rates him highly. Let me quickly catch up with the chat so we can go ahead with what we have here. It's Gallagher, not Gallagher. Oh, thank you for that correction there. Anything else? Says Lucidence says Kante has to stay. Let him have a well-earned rest. I think I've read that before. Let me see what happens here. Did I miss anything? True Blue is asking what our chances are to sign a delete from Juventus. I think I'd say really from if in fact his buyout clause is 120 million right now, then I'd say the chances of us getting him is slim because I don't see the club spending that much money on him. Given that we'll be signing Kounde, we still have Chalobah, and we still have Levi Colwill, and there's a chance we sign Gvardiol for lesser. So delete, I think it will be even for 70 to 80. I don't think the club would be willing to spend that much money. To me, if I were in charge, I wouldn't spend that much money. And again, Delete himself wants Juventus to reduce the buyout clause before he signs an extension at Juventus. So again, I'm not really, True Blue himself, I think he's knowledgeable enough to know the chances are slim if indeed the buyout clause is 120 million. Again, I don't think Chelsea would do that. Kante is not going to Manchester United. He wants to play Champions League football. More importantly, the man wants to play Champions League football. He's progressing. He's not, going backwards. Arthur, you did say, Fresh DM, Delete, we are being linked with. Again, we're being linked with him. The question is for how much? If Manchester United can pay £450,000 pounds, and then Chelsea should get the money. Do you mean? I'm not sure. You correct me on what you're trying to say here. I'm not sure. Manchester United by county indefinitely. I will leave Chelsea and find another club. Please needs to start with buying players as fast and possible easily is Sevilla defenders Jones. Let's see what the club does. Mike Joseph says selling Kante to Manchester United is a mess. It will be a colossal mistake. Like I said, I don't think it's happening, but I think they're trying to test the waters to see if we're willing to sell him. It remains to be seen how much they'd offer to Chelsea. And Chelsea, watching from Egypt, nice to see you, my brother, my Egyptian African brother. Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for telling me that. Hey, Suleiman, it's all love here, brother. And also, always nice to see you in the chat, providing great input to the conversation. Yes, I did say fresh DM. Okay, this again, I'm going to skip quite a lot here. So if I miss your comment, be patient with me. I can't read everything. Manchester United, Chelsea are both interested in signing PSV midfield Ibrahim Sangaré. He has a release clause of 35 million, which isn't bad. And here's why I think with this you can start making transition into that conversation about Sangaré. I think it will only make sense. This is him when he still plays for I think it's pronounced Toulouse or Toulouse. I'm not sure. I think the S is silence. Why? I don't know. But that's by the way. Sangaré, I think he is a player you could argue in the mold of the what's his name, Yaya Toure. The way he plays, he's such an intelligent player. The way he exploits even the slightest of spaces on the pitch. I think he's a special player. If he gets a chance to play in a team like Chelsea, even Manchester City or Liverpool, he's such a fun player. Surprisingly, release clause is 35 million. That isn't bad. So I'm not surprised. If we're really interested in him, I think we should go and pay that money and get him. LSC, I want to welcome you to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, not too bad, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Thank you for always finding time to join the panel. If you don't mind, I want to quickly, catch up with the chat and come back to you to see your opinion on the fact that Ibrahim Sangaré is available for 35 million. 35 million, that's the release clause. I'm surprised. So I'm going to come back. We have 52 likes and we have 120 people watching. But please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video, to show that you are enjoying the show, to show that you love Chelsea Football Club, and also take a second to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That will go a long way. We're reaching for 3,000 subscribers, and that milestone is not far-fetched, because right now we're at 2,672 subscribers, and you can help us to do even more. Now let me come to you. Even whether N'Golo Kante is leaving, whether he stays, it's important that we find another player who's capable of fulfilling the DM role comfortably, win the ball back, progress the ball, no matter how oppositions presses, dribble their way out of tight spaces. That is something that Kante don't often do, but Sangaré can do it quite well. LSC, we're in search of a DM. What do you think about this comment on the screen regarding Ibrahim Sangaré?
Yeah, I don't know if he's been on our radar, but I've heard some conflicting reports in the past about this specific player. All I will say is this. I think he's got about 3 years left on his contract, something like that.
3 years?
Yeah, he's got about 3 years left. But if that is the release clause, right? 35 million. I'm sorry, that's euros, right? So that's even less than 30 million pounds. You see, that's the more reason why we will not sign him, because it's not expensive enough, enough for these people, all right? Because when you have a player on a ship like Tchouameni was, all right, you say, you know what, give him one more season. You see?
I think there was an issue. If I can come in, if you don't mind, brother.
Yeah, go on.
Here's the problem with that of Tchouameni. I think it is True Blue that has explained it here on occasions, and it now makes sense why Chelsea didn't get him then. Monaco just signed him, and when we were looking at him, he hasn't even had a full season. he's just played a few months for them.
Yeah, that is
so they weren't going to let him go.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't an issue of. It wasn't an issue of Monaco not letting him go. All right. It was an issue of us not having the trust or not having that proper talented scouting team, okay, that can predict based on the interactions that we have on the pitch, all right, based on our pattern of play, based on our heat map, what specific players do we have that can fit in straight away and do the same job? You understand? So this is what we're talking about here, So we're talking about having the same, having a team that is consistent, regardless of brought in, because it's a system that we're playing. All right. So, but for a player like Sangaré, I would say, yeah, I like his energy. He's a very energetic player. I can say that for sure. But him playing for PSV, personally, if this link, I think this is probably going to be like it's probably going to be like the plan C or plan D, all right, for us, because I don't particularly think that even a club like Ajax, Thomas Tuchel don't rate Ajax, all right, because that's the problem he's having with Ziyech, all right, because right from day one, he already have his primordial instincts already set on the fact that Hakim Ziyech was a benchmark, okay, when he was at Eredivisie. He was the benchmark. You see what I'm saying? And Ajax was they are always the one winning. All right. So, but coming from a club like PSV, I don't think a manager like Tuchel, rates PSV. All right. So that would be the only thing that I would say is working against a player like that. All right. But in terms of his capability, I don't deny any of that. He plays for Ivory Coast, so obviously you have to be tough. All I will say is this: if this interest is born out of frustration of us not getting our first target, I will say don't go for it, because this now looks like what will I call it now? Because he's not even in the. He shouldn't even be in the third place, because we have Rice, Tchouameni, then should be Bissouma, another player. So I didn't even have him on my radar, to be honest with you. So a player of this caliber, I'm not doubting his skill sets, his capability. I know he like to make tackles, like tackles in the game. Like I think in the Eredivisie, he probably make the most tackles. All right, and yeah.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't say it is out of yes, Tchouameni was the first choice, obviously, for the club, for Thomas Tuchel and the Chelsea fans. But again, I think Ibrahim Sangaré, he can do even better than Tchouameni. I think Tchouameni, it's more like I think there's a way Chelsea. What I've learned, there's a way football fans look at players. If you're not that fancy on the pitch, they prefer you. That is, they prefer players who are very can showboat sometimes over that player
players with flair.
Exactly, yeah, players with flair. That's the way to put it. They often prefer players with flair over players who doesn't show so much flair. But in most cases, those players that doesn't show so much flair has more industry. The more hard working and can also offer flair too. If it depends, because he has some flair. He can dribble quite well. He can score some beautiful goals. I think you could argue there's a chance he scored more goals than Tchouameni this past season. But we'll compare the players to see who's done better than the others. So, but that's by the way.
The only issue I would say I will have with him is because it's similar to Ndidi, right?
I think he's a better player than Ndidi.
Yeah, you can say that, but it's PSV, right? So let him come. Ndidi has been in the Premier League, all right? He's been in a tougher league, with tougher positions, tougher opponents, with more money and a lot of issues, you know what I mean? So people want to fight. I don't even think it is a small team in the Premier League because everyone is ready to fight, you know. So it is what it is. All right. They are all owned and controlled by billionaires, whether I would like it or not. So they all want to win. All right. But the same issue I see, you know, in Didi, I've never really seen Didi, you know, spreading out long passes, you know, on into different directions and all of that. I like to play short passes, just like these guys are here. So I think if we are going to be losing any of our or if we are bringing in something to our midfield, we need to bring in something new. You know, we need players that can spread those passes, players with eagle eye. We saw that ball, yeah, that Jorginho passed to Kai Havertz, you know, and his wonderful first touch and how he got in, right? We saw that ball. We need players that can make those kind of passes. Jorginho, you know, fine, he did that, but I don't see him do that all the time. You see what I'm saying? So we need players that I don't think this guy is that kind of player.
I think he can actually. I think he can, but we'll see what happens. I hope we get him. He's one of the players that I really would like the club to seriously look at. But the rumors are that we're looking at him. We're also looking at Bissouma. Bissouma is one of the guys, and who else? I think one of the Declan Rice is one of the options. But in terms of Declan Rice, we're going to talk about him in a bit, and we will compare those players to see who has the better, you know, who's done better this past season. But I'll come back to that. And thank you very much, All Stars Tournament, for that good comment. And people, I think you guys are absolute legends. We're at 60 likes, and where we have 114 people watching, and we're in the 56th minute of the show, which means we're beating the time. So if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video to help us reach more people. The more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will have joined the show, and the more fun it will be. And if you haven't, please do take a second to share the video on social media platforms where you have presence. You can share it on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, to get more people to join us. And please keep telling more people about Chelsea's Perspective YouTube channel. It is freedom here. We try to get you involved. It is inclusive too. Again, we try to get everyone involved. Those in the chat, those on the panel. We are all one here, and we update each other. We put heads together to come to sensible conclusions regarding matters that concern our great club. So I'm going to go ahead with the chat. Here we have them in Dosey, Lautaro Martinez, Skriniar, Bastoni. Any one of Elm in the Lukaku deal sounds good. Need to get rid of Lukaku. Here's the thing. I'm going to explain myself again. They need money. Inter are really not interested right now. They're just getting Lukaku because they need a striker. They need a traditional striker like him. But I don't think they need anything involving you taking any of the players for free. If you're not going to give them money, they're not going to give you any player. They have, I think, how do I phrase it? They need to balance the books to have a positive, 50 million plus in profits. I don't recall what date exactly. So that's why I'm saying to you right now, they're not going to give you anybody for free. You have to give them money if you really want them. And the two players that are being talked about that they want to sell to get the money to balance their books, it's Lautaro Martinez and Bastoni, which I don't think, which again, I've repeated myself, they're not going to give you those players on the free. Says, I'm watching live from Uganda. Nice to see you here, my brother. The Paul, you say, is it the Paul of Africa, or how do I pronounce that? Of Africa, but Kante is a world player. We don't need to sell such a player. And Proud of Blues, thank you guys for the show. Thank you very much, Junior. Nice to see you here. And I think this is not your first time because I recognize your name. Sangaré is quality. We needed to be quick before we, someone like Liverpool sign him up because Liverpool, they've signed quite a few players, and they have a number of players vying for starting place in a lot of positions they have there. It says Felix Okechukwu. Again, says any many players is going out. Again, how many players you mean? I'm not sure. Quite a lot of them should be going out, but there's no way to tell until it happens. Because we thought that will happen again last season. And again, welcome to the channel, my Niger brother. And if you haven't, please, people, keep liking the video. You guys are absolute legend. Now we're at 70 likes. It looks like we will hit at least 300 likes today. So, but I'm confident we can do that. Please keep liking the video if you haven't. Yeah, it remains to be seen. I've heard RB Leipzig wanting 80 million for Gvardiol. I think that's quite a lot. And let me know, Lee, do you think would pay that much money for him? Again, I'll quickly see how much I can read and go back to the channel. How many players for Chelsea? Yes, I understood that was what you were asking. Sign for next season. I'm not sure. That's the I can't. I'm not sure because I think we went into the market, with the force we should going to, late because we weren't allowed to talk with players given the restrictions we were under before. So, but you could say at least 3 to 4 players because the club will be well aware. Yeah, it's a rebuilding process, but it's not going to happen in a single window. Forget everything you are hearing. I don't see the club signing up to 7 to 8 players this window. If it happens, I'd be surprised. Stanley Batsman says, I said this when they wanted to sign Lukaku, that he will be waste of funds. The thing that will happen if Chelsea sell Kante to Manchester United, it will be a disaster. I'm not questioning that, your assertion there. That's a chance that's the case, but I don't think we're selling him to Manchester United. Who could be the second marquee signing that Todd Boehly'ss is going to deliver? Who is the first one? That's the question. Who qualifies as the first one? I don't know. And blue morning to my brother from another mother, Fahim, CFC Fahim. Again, nice to see you here, brother. If you're watching, just take a second to please go check out CFC Fahim's YouTube channel. He's approaching 1,000 subscribers, and we can help him get there. Please check out his channel. Check out his content if you prefer first. Then subscribe and let him know I sent you. That's a lot of money for someone who is the same age as Colwell. Good argument. So it doesn't even make sense to pay. You're talking about Gvardiol, right? If that's the case, it doesn't make sense to pay that much money for him. And why we have Levi Colwell, whom I think the other day, who's argued how well he's done in the championship. Which is even, you could argue, tougher than the Bundesliga. So why spend that much money for Gvardiol? He likes the idea of going to Chelsea. So the beats all seems to be falling into place at D Jones on Ousmane Dembele. That's yep. Thank you for that update, which was the same thing we said also, which is that it's easy to come to the conclusions that Ousmane Dembele will be coming to Chelsea Football Club. Says Coachila, there were reports yesterday that Tuchel given a freedom to choose targets, also given permission to go for De Ligt, even for that amount. It also said he has 200 plus. Yeah, that's thank you for that update. Now we're understanding it's not just 200 and it's not 200 after sales. So that settles. That was what has been getting us mad for, not what has making us unhappy for the past few days. It's also said he has 200 plus sales. The lead won't cost 120. How much do you think they'd be asking? Because if it is the release clause, I don't think Chelsea will pay that much money. And it remains to be seen if he wants to come to us. Rumors are he prefers going to Manchester City, but we'll see. I think Manchester City, you could argue, are packed in that area. Yeah, that's where he is right now. But this is this picture that I found online when he's still with at Toulouse. Sorry about that. I get your point. Okay, let me hide the badge. Maybe you'll be happier now. And you like to call me out, right? But that's okay. Ousmane Dembele has chosen to go to Chelsea. Again, thank you. Yes, you have Bissouma is the best candidate for the DM role. Get Darwin Núñez from Benfica as Lukaku replacement. Get Marco Cucurella as Ben Chilwell. Dembele deal is already done. Let's see. Again, the question is finished 1 point behind Ajax and beat them in the cup, which that shows you he's playing in a good team, really. Again, let's see what happens. Chelsea will look to strengthen their midfield this summer. However, the Blues are unlikely to make any moves for Declan Rice, and will instead consider alternative, cheaper options, which includes Bissouma, and I think it includes what's his name, Sangaré, Ibrahim Sangaré. So I'm going to skip quite a lot, so I'll go back to the chat and I'll try to look at your other comments. Again, sorry, Chelsea transfer news today. Here, Matty. Again, if I miss your comment, I'd catch up to you. And here's my sister Sharma Yosef says, I've been listening. Please do not sell Kante. It's not up to me, Sharma. It's not up to me. We're just talking about looking at the rumors out there on a free. I hope that happens. Pay even 60, 70 million for him. I'd say no. So coming back to the panel, Phantom, of course, you're going to do something different too, so we'll recognize it's you. Now, I want to say welcome to the panel to Phantom and also Rodrigo. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good, man. Thanks for having us again. Thank you.
Brilliant. Phantom, how about you? How you doing, brother?
I was sarcastic when I said Fred and McTominay, they're the two worst sixes in the league.
I knew you were. I knew you were just looking for somewhat of a fighter. So, and I hope some people gave you the answer you wanted. So, now I'm going to go, Rodrigo. Rodrigo, your thoughts are for the DM option. And first, if you want to talk about whether you think we will be selling N'Golo Kante to Manchester United, you go ahead. But your thoughts on Sangaré?
Yeah, first of all, we are not selling Kante anywhere. Kante is retiring as a Chelsea legend.
I hope that happens.
I hope that happens. I think even Tuchel, since we hear that Tuchel is being given a lot of power and transfer and some decision making, Tuchel himself said Kante is not Mbappe, is not Benzema. He's basically one of the only world-class outfield player we have in the club. He's the only, apart from Silva, he's the only world-class outfield player. We are not selling him. United can dream on. Yeah. Well, this is not like the United under Fergie where they can go and bully any team in the league and get whoever they want. So I don't think we'll sell him. So as regards to the DM role, I know people keep bringing up Bissouma. I don't think Bissouma is the type of DM that sits. So
okay.
Yeah,
I think you and I have a fight today. Just finish with Sangaré. You and I have a fight today.
Sangaré, I like Sangaré. Like I mentioned a couple of times, I've seen. I haven't watched a lot of PSV, but what I can say, I've watched him play for Ivory Coast, and I was very impressed. He's a very strong lad. He's very strong in tackle. He has a good eye for pass. You know when you watch African AFCON and stuff, the pitch is not always the best, but even on the pitch, you can see the guy has something about him. Very powerful, very strong, and he's physically imposing in midfield. I think when you have the players, if you look at the characteristic of the players that we have in midfield, they're all short, not physically imposing in midfield. I think if he's for a reasonable price, I wouldn't be upset. I think it will complement either Jorginho. It will complement everyone, and we can even afford to play a 4-3-3. Him as a CM. I think he has the discipline to sit in front of the back four and win the ball for us. Yeah, obviously people always bring up Declan Rice. Maybe yesterday's game is not the best game to judge Rice on because he was horrible against Germany yesterday. What's the kid from Bayern Munich? He was cooking him left, right, center. Couldn't touch him. And his distribution wasn't great.
We'll talk about Rice. Then we'll compare them. Don't give it away. So you like Sangaré?
I like Sangaré. I really like him. I like that. He's again, for me, what I like for players like Sangaré, these type of players, they're coming from a lower team, coming to Chelsea. For him, it's probably a dream, seeing his maybe countryman Drogba used to play. You know, when you have like a link like that with a club, when he comes here, he'll have something to prove. And I think he's one of them guys that'll probably come in and really appreciate the opportunity. Because you want players that don't just come to the club where they think, oh, he's a vertical move, or he's just a move like, all right, I'm here, let me do my job. One of the players that was going to be committed, and I feel like we can get that from Sangaré. I feel it would be like a big.
I think we can. I think it's
like a Mendy, isn't it? It's like Edouard Mendy. You know, the players that need that one breakthrough in their career, and if they get it, explode.
And one other thing I want to say before I continue, I'm going to catch up with the chat and I'll come back to Phantom. The thing is this: I think a player doesn't have to be expensive.
No.
To be good, and this guy is good, and this guy actually may do better than Tchouameni.
Exactly.
At Chelsea, Tchouameni is just, you could say, because he's a player that shows flair on the pitch, so people prefer him more. That's a chance. Even Rice could do better than Chelsea. At Chelsea than Tchouameni would. But that's, by the way, Chama here says that she heard Chelsea has appointed Titi to manage it. I think what she's referring to, the news that Thomas Tuchel will be allowed to be the one to point at players he wants. But again, that's the way it should be done in the first place.
Yeah, he was only first team coach. Now he's getting promoted to manager.
So what? How does this job differ now?
So when you're first team coach, your sole responsibility is to train and obviously looking at the football side of the first team.
He actually liked it like that before, if you ask me.
Now he's gonna have more. Like when the youth team or the development team, it wouldn't have like tactical input in those teams if he's not the manager. So they'll be doing separately, and he'll be doing things obviously focusing on the first team. But now, since he's the manager, he's looking at the entire football, the entire football side for the men's side. So it's the same as Emma Hayes on the women's side. She's basically she can tell if they have a youth side or a development side, she can tell them what tactics they need to employ and so on and so forth. And obviously the link with the board as well. So I don't know if Tuchel would like that, but I hope he works out for him. I think
it makes sense. I think it makes sense. But in the first place, the manager should always be the one to say, "That's a player I want. That's a player who will help me implement the way I like to play." So, but let me quickly catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel to let Phantom. Maybe he came with a fight. We'll see, and I'd like to see that. Again, we have 150 people watching, but we have 76 likes. We're shooting for 300 likes today. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video. We need just 24 more likes to get to 100 likes. And we're just 1 hour, 12 minutes into the show. So we can actually get to 300 likes by the end of the show. Please do take a second, like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So let me try and catch up here. And we've talked about what Chama just said. I heard, let me see here. Sorry, my screen again, but I've realized what causes that freeze. What's your opinion on Gabriel Jesus? I think Gabriel Jesus would work on Thomas Tuchel. He would do well under him, given that he's a hybrid striker. He's not an out-and-out striker, if you want to define it that way. And he's also he's an intelligent player overall. Again, it remains to be seen whether we're really looking at him or whether what we see out there, what we've seen out there are all rumors. 80 million plus J5 for De Ligt rather than 80 million for Gvardiol when we have a Colwell. I think I agree with that argument. I think it makes sense, but it remains to be seen. And if Juve, the rumors are that they want a J5. So I think this is a delicious, brilliant comment here. We should try that and see if it works and bring in De Ligt, and then sort out a J5's role, because no matter how you see it, J5 is still pivotal to how Thomas Tuchel wants to play his football. Get De Jong, Bissouma, and Sangaré. Maybe add 2 more to them to make them 5 players who can play in the same position. Chama, you heard, there's a conversation between them. Kante is a retiring at Chelsea legend. Yep, that comment from Rodrigo is indeed legendary. Says Chelsea managers should be aware that all the new owner of Chelsea is expecting a good performance from him. So he should be wise in choosing players right now so that he can win trophies. He must be strategic about the spending because there's no stories after spending quite a lot of money. And then you tell stories again. That's why he has to be strategic on his purchases. If you want to phrase it that way, Bissouma is a beast. Bissouma is good. Kante would be giggling at the links to Manchester United. He helps his case in terms of negotiations with Chelsea Football Club. And indeed, he has just 1 year left on his contract. So he's in a better position in terms of negotiating with the club. So the club will be so yeah, I don't think it's a very, very, you could argue difficult one for the club right now. Bissouma had 10 yellow cards last season. So if he comes to us, we will need a backup due to suspensions. Maybe it depends on the manager he plays under. That's a chance he comes to Chelsea and become an even a more polished player. He doesn't have to commit fouls to win the ball back. That's just the truth. True Blue Lee, what do we know? Exactly. What do we know is the question. I think Sangaré being a black can match with Kante in the midfield. What are you talking about?
That is a nonsense comment.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the language you use. Please, midfield should be Bissouma, De Jong, Sangaré, Kante, Kovacic, Fred, keep going, Michael Essien, Mikael, all of them at the same time. That's never going to be possible. Also, you have to be, yeah, exactly. I don't really want to, he's caused the trouble for himself. I don't know. That comment is weird. I really didn't like that. So just be careful the language you use, please. Again, hello to you too. Ismail Abderizak, nice to see you here, brother. Again, if you haven't, people keep liking the video. We need just 20 likes to get to 100. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes today. So if you haven't liked the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you have a So Chama is right, first team coach promoted to manager. I didn't even know he was just a first team coach. We're learning every day. Yeah, thank you, Chama One for providing that update. Great football. Oh my gosh. That is seriously hilarious and dangerous. So, CFC Blues 1J, please mind the language you use. You're going to get into trouble, please. Moving forward, we still need a proper director of football. That is very important. I think quite a lot of people have said that. Nice to see you here, Fairboy. And Fairboy has a YouTube channel called Fair Chelsea Analysis. And if you haven't, please go check it out and make sure to subscribe. Kante is our beloved. Aldwa Soldati said, yep, I do agree with you. Please keep liking the video. We're shooting for 300 likes. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. A Gazette dello Sport suggesting Chelsea want one of Lautaro Martinez, Skriniar or Bastoni involved in Lukaku deal. It is very difficult for it to happen because Inter wants money. But let's see what happens. Sangaré is decent. Again, a coach can still dictate what younger teams are playing, like managers used to do. Yeah, everything, contracts, etc., etc. Makalele is a day-to-day manager. It makes sense because you want academy players to be ready to play for the first team. So that's why usually they mirror the style of play of the first team in most cases. It might be easier if we talk about the players we are not involved with. Oh, wait, we wouldn't have a shot. That's the truth. We wouldn't have a shot. People wouldn't even listen to you. But in most cases, on Chelsea perspective, we do talk about players that the clubs that our club isn't linked to. That's just the truth. Again, 5 subs next season. So midfield should compose of Bissouma, De Jong, Sangaré, Kante, Kovacic, Gallagher. He's still going. You can add to that list too. Again, I'm going to skip everything in and be all caught up and come back to the panel. Your thoughts, Phantom, on the club being linked to Sangaré?
Are we linked to Sangaré?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, to Sangaré and Bissouma. Those are the two players because given the price that West Ham want for Rice, the club are looking beyond him at this point. That's the rumors we have. Yeah.
Right. Rice is not coming here because we're not going to cough up $100 million, and we already know that West Ham is not going to settle for less. So as far as Sangaré, I don't know. How do we get linked to Sangaré? I didn't even hear.
It's a DM because we're looking for a DM. Because the truth is, whether Kante is leaving or not, whether Kante is leaving or not, we need another defense, another good DM.
I'm not arguing that, but is this coming from like Sunrise Nigeria, or is it coming from Matt Law?
No. Those are popular Chelsea what you got, journalists. Yeah, that's what we're hearing it.
Okay, well, he wasn't my choice, but anything but Rice, because Rice is too expensive. So so I'm not against it. Not against it.
Yeah, and by the way, and by the way, I don't get news from Sun Nigeria. No, sorry.
No, Sunrise Nigeria comes up with the weirdest things. I see them on Facebook, and it's just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
They say the weirdest things. So that's what I'm saying. There's a level of if Matt Law says it, then it's pretty much just like Fabrizio Romano. It's about a done deal, close to it, because Matt Law has a very high reputation. But on the
which of the deals are you talking about?
No, I'm just talking about journalists in general. And then on the other hand, you have the polar opposite, which is the Sunrise Nigeria, which is just shooting out all these sort of weird things that'll never happen.
And for the poll, whereas should Chelsea sell Kante to Manchester United, 18% says yes and 82% said no.
I'm not saying we shouldn't sell Kante necessarily, but I'm not saying that we should sell him to Manchester United. A direct top 6 rival is just crazy. Just like we should not sell Pulisic to Liverpool either. I mean, that's just common sense, right?
Apparently, Sangaré has a £29.9 million release clause.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and if Liverpool, Newcastle, and Manchester United are looking at him as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be a bidding war then.
Yeah, but I think it comes. I think let's see where he goes to.
Liverpool are probably on top because obviously we can offer him Champions League football. At Liverpool, maybe get into that team directly with Fabinho and Thiago. In our team, he will actually play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because Liverpool are really packed in that area. So the better option for him will be Chelsea Football Club. But usually you can see some confident players and managers are able to speak with them on the phone and convince them you have a chance here, and they'd go. So that's no guarantee. That's no guarantee that he'd be. You get my point. That's no guarantee that he will not be going to Liverpool. Because once managers speak with these guys, they're able to convince them for one reason or the other, even when there is a space, there's clearly no space for them. But let me come to you, Rodrigo, your thoughts. Do you think we should or we should not, even look at Rice, put aside his price, his ability-wise? Do you think it fit into Thomas Tuchel's style of play?
Declan Rice. Yes. I wanted to do a bit of scouting to watch him again for another game.
I'm okay to say if you want Declan Rice for $100 million, that's fine. But I'm not going to entertain, we can talk him down to 60 million because that's not.
No, listen, we're not talking about his ability right now. The question I'm asking, we're not talking about his price tag, so to speak. We're talking about his ability. So my question is, do you think Chelsea should go for him, given the way he plays? Do you think? I know some people argue otherwise, but I have my argument. Do you think, he will fit into Thomas Tuchel's style of play? If you're in the chat, let us know. I think I'll do a poll on that too. Do you think Chelsea should go for him, given his ability? If you want to just count his price tag in the background, but let the focus be his abilities. compare him to Sangaré and Bissouma, do you think Chelsea should even go for him or not? And why do you think so? But let's not talk about his price tag at all.
For even money, I think he would be the best choice because he has the link with Mount. And I think...
What difference does that make in the team?
Well, I mean, if he and Mount can play together, he passes to Mount and Mount scores, then that's pretty wonderful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we have to live in the reality, and the reality is at least this year, we're not getting Rice because we're not going to spend $100 million to get him. So.
Go ahead.
Ourelien and Gary are the best alternatives to.
We will compare them. We'll look at their statistics to see. But go ahead with what you're saying.
Well, I mean, just because he's Premier League proven, that matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That matters a lot because a lot of people are not Premier League proven. And they come here and they don't do well because they aren't Premier League proven. Like Sal Niguez, right? Not Premier League proven. Comes in, bam. Horrible. When we paid a lot for him in the loan. But because the Premier League is the toughest league around. And none of the other leagues, they're just all minor leagues.
Yeah. Go ahead. Before I go back to the chat, we have 85 people watching, which means we need just 15 more to reach 100 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 200 likes a day. And if you haven't, please just like the video to show how much you are enjoying the show, to show that you love Chelsea Football Club. Please do like the video. We need 15 more to reach 100 likes. Again, I'm going to go back to the chat. Here's what I want to say about Declan Rice. Now, is he a good player? Yes, he is a good player. Does he have leadership skills that people have always talked about? He's capable of leading quite well. That's the truth. But here's where I have the problem. How well does he do under pressure? Under pressure in times of players coming on him. Is he able to still progress the ball, when opponents press him aggressively and 2-3 players come at him? I haven't seen him done that consistently. You get that? He can get you goals, he can create goals, he can spread the passes. Do I think he's Thomas Tuchel's ideal type of player? I would say no. That's my argument. And do I think there's space for him at Chelsea right now? I would say no. The place he'd get more chance to play now will be at Manchester United, except if they sign De Jong. You get that? Yes. Now, he's an English international, first of all. He wouldn't want to come to Chelsea and then it will be a case of whenever Kante is fit and really fit and ready to play, he's on the bench. I don't know if people are looking at that. And I get it. There's been argument. And who was the person? I think it was TJ who explained, how he said he want to come to Chelsea. And I asked TJ, how do we know? And he explained some stuff that sounds like it's fine. It's all true, but it remains to be seen until it happens. We'll see. But I think the fact that Chelsea won't be paying how much they want, Chelsea will not even be paying out, if you ask me, up to 90 for him, or let alone 100. I think he'd stay there, and Chelsea will now get another DM, which will be even more, like Sangaré has more mobility than him, same thing as Bissouma. They're all more agile than he is. He needs space to operate, to do well. But most people don't look at that. I'm not sure where that bias is coming from, and maybe it's because it's English or not. And even Mies has left. Some people blocked Mies for saying, okay, because the game he played the other day, he didn't do well. And Mies put out a tweet talking about it. He got into Twitter fight with some people and some blocked him. But we have to be factual here. He's a good player, but I don't think he fit well into Thomas Tuchel's approach to the game. Maybe he will change around something to accommodate him. I don't know. So again, your thoughts, if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think we should we waste too much time on talking about Rice. If it was meant to be, he'd be here already. So let's look at Bissouma. Let's look at Sangaré. Let's look at maybe some other alternatives, Ndidi, whatever. I don't know, whoever you want to look at, but let's just not waste any more time looking at Rice any more than we should be looking at Erling Haaland or something like that.
Because, yeah, it may well end up being just a waste of time because they don't want to sell him. And that's just the truth. Let me try and catch up with the chat, and I'll come back. Let me see what we have here. It says, watching live from UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi. Again, nice to see you here, brother. I appreciate you. And again, we have just how many? 12 more likes to get to 100 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes today. So keep liking the video so we reach there. If you haven't shared the video, go ahead, share it on your Facebook page or Twitter page so that more people can join us. Says, again, nice to see that. Says, man say something. Yeah, exactly, that too. I says, she Blues, what? Again, yeah, we need to stack midfield because of too many games and injuries. Again, do a poll on him being sold outside of the Premier League. Who are you talking exactly? Let me know. Are you talking about
Kante, N'Golo Kante?
Okay, if you're talking N'Golo Kante, then I'll check that in a bit. Let me see. I'll do that poll in a bit. It says, let me go back here so my screen moves. It says, Pauletta, no better. Yep. Now what? That rhymes actually. Let's reach 100 likes. It's All-Stars tournament. Thank you so much for saying that. Liverpool signed Darwin Núñez. Have they? No, is it the deal concluded already? All I heard is that they're going after him. You can hear what's true. Okay. This saying something here. That's not true. The quiet. What they're fighting over. Pauletta, I don't know what you're talking about. Only language could be a problem. But we have Thiago Silva, who hardly speaks English. Yep, again, that's just the truth. Again, just we all a great footballer, all talk the same language. Football is the common language we speak here. And again, that's the truth. It makes perfect sense. That's a delicious comment from Lee. Thank you very much, Lee, with that. Rodrigo, let me know when you're back. Benny, I think it's wrong telling people to be quiet on social platform as this. It's a freedom of speech and different opinions as long as you aren't insulting anyone. Tone it down. Yep, again, I'll tune it down. All love here, exactly. We're family here. You go here, Fred, Billy not good enough. That's not a backup. Yep, we don't want a backup. We want to start us all in every position. So if let the most informed players start for us, I think that will go a long way. Sangaré is more about power. Technically, not the best. I think technically he's good. And I think he's got quite intelligence. Like I've argued before, you could argue he's in the mold of Yaya Toure. The way he glides through the midfield, his ability to pass the ball, and the type of goals he scores. And in his goals that I've seen, he doesn't really go for power. He goes for finesse. And that's intelligence on its own. So again, it depends on how you want to see it. It says, very true, they're talking to each other there. Good morning, Blue Morning. Nice to see you again today, Sutran. How are you doing? I hope everything is good on your end. Again, Declan Rice equal to Bissouma plus Sangaré. Can you, this Declan Rice, are you sure? Is that how much you trust him? Again, I get Rice overrated. Why are people not seeing this the way it is? He isn't a bad player, but the price is just absurd, to be honest. Plus, I don't think he fits into Thomas Tuchel's style of play. But I'm hearing he wants him. If we sign him, I'd be surprised. Look at the comments. It says Liverpool signed Núñez. I don't think they've signed him. No, that's not true. All I heard is that they've started... they've started talking with him. Can you let me know who you guys are talking about keeping or letting go? Chama just said, okay, just saying hi to Chama, to the Queen of the House, one of the Queen of the House saying hello to the other Queen of the House. Lee, I checked 1 hour ago. It was considering making a bid. Yep, they have, so we shouldn't be saying they signed him already. Incoming a rant. Yep. AC Milan have reached a verbal argument with Renato Sanchez on personal terms. Talks with ongoing. Again, that's one player I've always wanted to see at Chelsea. I don't know. At the time, I think we did look at him. I'm not sure why we haven't looked at him. He did well in the Euros. I think it was during the Euros. I was saying how he ran the show for Portugal, but we'll see what happens. Again, anything else? I am concerned about Bissouma's reputation in his personal life. I think I know you're talking about the incident where he's been ordered to appear in court the previous day. Again, a few days ago. Here's the thing. I think he's just a witness, according to what I'm hearing. If you're hearing something different and you're in the chat, please let us know. I think, he's just a witness. He's being called to testify. No, he's not the culprit, if you prefer. He's not the suspect. So I'm not really concerned about that. Yes, Max Wilson. Again, keep liking the video, guys, and keep subscribing if you haven't. Chelsea United and Leicester in a bidding war for Sangaré. I think for County United out because they don't have Manchester United. They don't have a European. They don't have Champions League football. Leicester City doesn't either. Let's see what happens. I think he'd come to Chelsea if we're serious about him. What should source? Okay, they just are having a conversation there. Can people stop saying the Premier League is the toughest league? That phrase is not completely correct, but you agree it is correct to a certain measure. Can you? The right phrase is the Premier League is very physical. You could argue that, but can you tell us which league in the world is the toughest? How you want to see it? Again, it says I watched him at Rice yesterday against Germany. He was cooked by the German kid, former Chelsea academy player. Again, you don't have to judge a player just because of his performance or output in a single game. You have to do more than that. Phantom, it's never going to be 100 million. Yep, that's the truth. Clubs put a price on the selling price. And I think if we go to West Ham now and say we want Rice, they'd ask us for, we heard they're looking for, what's his name, Phantom? Broya, right? They'd ask us for Broya. So I'm going to come to you in a bit. Watching from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you. Nice to see you here, my brother from Nairobi, Kenya. Again, I'm going to skip to the bottom and then I'll try and catch up again. And sorry if I skip anything you want me to read. I am sure there's another DM out there that is outstanding that would cost half or a fraction of the cost of Rice. Scouts need to do their job. That's the truth. Good players doesn't need to be expensive. Bissouma is a good one. If you argue that he's not a traditional DM, he's box to box, all the manager needs is just instructions. Say, please be disciplined. I don't want you to go forward that much. Same thing as Bissouma. People argue he will probably not be disciplined enough. It depends on the instructions from the manager. Again, I'd argue. We've talked about Rice, and I have my reasons why I don't think it's the best for us. I am enjoying your show from South Africa. Nice to see you, my brother from Madiba land. God bless you for joining us here, and thank you for all the supports. I cannot thank you guys enough. Ampadu, Gilmore, Kovacic, Sangaré, Bissouma competing for the double six, keeping Gilmore rather than alone, a player with different skill sets, a selling Jorginho and Kante. That's a good suggestion. Again, I don't think the club will sell Kante, but here's one thing I want to let you know about Gilmore. Good luck keeping him. Gilmore will not extend his stay at Chelsea except if you promise him game time. And he is in a good position from a negotiation perspective because he has just 1 year left on his contract. Phantom, you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say Gilmore should go play for Celtic or what's the other team up there, Rangers, or if he wants to play in the Premier League, he should go to Everton to find his daddy. That would be his daddy is named Frank Lampard, and he should go play for him because I don't think Tuchel rates him at all because Tuchel thinks he's too small, and I think he's too small. He's going to get run over by people like Rudiger.
And you think, and I do think his daddy will be looking to sign him too.
Yeah.
And I do think so. By the way, Rodrigo, I hope everything is good. Things are good in your end.
Yeah, it was good. It was just one report that needed to be resent again. I'm working from home, so I'm multitasking. So if my manager is a Chelsea fan, shout out to you, bro. Bro. He's a United fan, so he doesn't. Yeah.
Well, look, if Everton was a London area team, I would be considering, going over to Frank Lampard's side too. But it's not, so I am not, because I'm not going to support a Merseyside team. No way. But I think that Gilmour is he belongs with Frank. He's good with Frank. I think he should.
Yeah, go. I think if he has to go there, let it be on loan.
And I always feel with Gilmour, I don't think he has that loyalty to Chelsea. I don't think he's that. He's not like the typical academy player who's also a fan. I feel like he's more of a Rangers fan, and he's only at Chelsea because obviously we offered him that opportunity when he was coming up. So I feel like it'll be easier to just make it a decision to leave us. And I wouldn't mind actually if he's not gonna sign a new deal and he doesn't see his future here. I think it's good for him to go.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rodriguez. I just don't want to see Gilmour leave on a free, So let's why don't we just sell him to Everton now?
And add a buyback clause to it. And he's actually good enough to start for Chelsea. But let me just catch up with the chat. We have 92 people, 92 likes, while we have 104 people watching. Just 8 more likes to reach 100. Please like the video if you haven't, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That helps us. You don't have to even donate or super chat. Likes and subscribing to the channel both do go a long way in terms of the growth of the channel. DJ South says, Chelsea FC women are delighted to announce the signing of French international Yves Bissouma ahead of the 2022-2023 season. Welcome, Yves. Yes, Yves, welcome to Chelsea Perspective, to Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, I wanted to steal that from the club. Any news on Benteke to replace Lukaku? Thank you.
That's the Villa fan trolling.
Yeah, and exactly. You're an Aston Villa fan. Just take him to Aston Villa. Thank you very much. Let's go, Chelsea. Yes, let's go, Chelsea, says Gabby's Movies. Nice to see you here. Says, we have never thought about it. We actually need a midfielder who can shoot. And that is...
I'm sorry. Can I ask you both an off-topic question?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, do you think Steven Gerrard is going to be loyal to... Aston Villa, and number 2, do you think Frank Lampard is going to be loyal to Everton in the long term?
No.
In what sense?
Well, I mean, now that they found new homes in these new teams, do you think Frank Lampard's ultimate goal is still to come back to Chelsea, or is he going to try to build an empire over there at Everton and make that his new home?
I feel for Gerrard.
Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Sorry, I think Steven Gerrard might go to Liverpool in a few years, but I think Lampard. I don't know. Lampard, he struck me like someone who has too much pride. I don't see him coming back to Chelsea. I don't see it. The way he left, maybe under the new, obviously, ownership, but the way he left, the way he was too bitter, I don't see him coming back. I feel like Everton is actually a good level for him. He's probably a bit too high. I would have wanted him maybe to go to a lower team, prove himself more, but obviously now he's got the Everton job. He's got to make sure he keeps it, because Everton is as good as he could get for him for a long time. Yeah, obviously. I think you are going to Liverpool at that point.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Lampard, he probably would want to coach Chelsea again someday. Do I see it happening? I just cannot tell. Why? Because I think of late, even after celebrating their win against us, he released a statement saying, I hope Chelsea fans I hope they understand why I celebrated the way I did, something similar. It just shows he still wants to maintain a good relationship with the fan base, and probably is well aware that the fans weren't happy how he denied Roman Abramovich. But that's, by the way, if you don't mind, Rodrigo, I'm still bring you back to whether you think Chelsea should or should not sign Declan Rice. And why, whatever your answer is, you just let us know why. I'm just going to try and catch up with the chat if you don't mind.
Oh, that's all right. All
right, thank you very much. Deals at CFC, nice to see you again here, Deals. He says, I like Sangaré, but some people don't know what they are getting with him because he plays in Dutch League. I like Bissouma because we know what quality we get from him. I think what Sangaré does differently from Bissouma, I think Sangaré will score more goals for us. That's why I count him in the mode of Yaya Touré, the way he plays, the way he glides in the midfield, and the way, his shots are not all about power. It is placement and finesse, but I'll come back to that. Again, says, makes sense. Hi to you too. I think I've said hi to you before. Boy, I really hope we're not looking at Forget the troll there. I think the troll knows. The person that said that, he knows, he or she knows exactly what they're doing. Inter and Chelsea will be in direct talks for Romelu Lukaku in the coming days. After contacts with the player, he strongly wants to return to Inter. I think we know that already, but thank you for the update. Danny, Musiala was playing in the front of three. Okay. Who is that for everybody, or you're talking with somebody? We have signed our first player on the ball in the women's team. Fair to say we're back in business. Yeah, that's very correct. After all, the person in question is a Chelsea signing. Thanks, guys, for the advice. No one is perfect, not at all. We'll learn every day. And Pauletta, we understand you're a Chelsea fan. You're a family member here. You're a member of the Chelsea Perspective family, so you have every right to express yourself. And we learned together. You see, nobody butchered you. We just found a way to correct it, so you're fine, okay? Lee, I think says it will be a great replacement.
You take him then.
I just enjoy it. Yeah, Benteke will be a great replacement. He was great for Villa. Thank you very much. Keep him if you still have. I enjoy reading his comments or her comments though. I think it's a boy, yeah, clearly again, but it's hilarious to see how he's really trying to sell him. Good evening, brother Smith David from India. Nice to see you again, brother. Chelsea and Manchester United are both interested in signing the PSV star Ibrahim Sangaré, and probably Ten Hag knows him very well. Ten Hag knows him very well because he just left Ajax. He himself is confident he will become a Premier League player next season, but didn't say which club, which means we have a chance. I hope he comes to us because we have our Champions League game next season. Real getting Tchouameni, then we need to be asking about Casemiro. Why are we? Here's the question I have for you, Manny. Why should we even be looking at Casemiro when we're talking about selling N'Golo Kante because he's too old? Aren't they about the same age?
Yeah.
Again, and it's not like he's played in the Premier League before. So, Kante, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Silva is about 3 years younger than his physical age, but Kante is about 4 years
What a way to phrase it. Go ahead.
No, I mean, Kante is about 4 years older than his physical age because he's like broken down and, he feels like he's like a 37, 38-year-old, whereas Silva feels like he's like a 31, 32-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't just use the age as a baseline. You have to look at how well their body is. Because Kante is a broken up man.
Yeah, I think he used up his body earlier than he should, but I think he's still fine. But that's a great point there. They say we learn every day. I just learned something new, but I still don't think we should go for Casemiro. Lee is correcting us here. He says in the Brighton and Hove newspaper, it says he was arrested and not a witness. Was on bail until the 6th of June. So it could be the case is happening now. That may well be the case, but being arrested doesn't necessarily mean you're the suspect. Sometimes arrests are made and then they find out who really did what, and then we'll know who's suspect and who's a witness. But again, that's how I see it. I think Chelsea should sign, is it McTominay cheap? And would love to leave United. No,
hey, I've already made that joke today, sir. You're late on that one.
Says good players don't win league titles. I need you to elaborate on that, Lee, so that we can learn something from it. I know True Blue, but it's confirmed today. Okay, thank you very much. Anybody else in the chat with anything? Chama says it's annoying when people are coming and comparing football leagues. They are all unique. The EPL is just a richer in money. That's another thing. Yep.
And pace.
Sorry?
And pace, physicality.
Physicality. Yep,
well,
yep.
I mean, here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of players coming from Bundesliga, La Liga, or whatever Liga, Serie A come here and they don't perform well. But I don't see the opposite of a Premier League star going to one of their leagues and then finding their league too difficult to deal with. I haven't heard of that before.
Have you heard of the guy called Eden Hazard?
No, I have not.
All right, let me just catch up with the chat again quickly. And I want to say with people who are watching, to please, if you haven't, please do like the video. We're just 3 likes away to get to 100. We're shooting for 300 likes today. And believe me, we can do that. And right now, we're at 2,679. We're approaching 2,700 subscribers. We can do that. If you haven't, like the video and also subscribe to the channel to show your support. Again, it says Billy Gilmore don't want another loan. A surprise. The moment I learned that he has just 1 year left on his contract, I knew he'd ask for assurance or for game time. And if the club can't do that, he'd leave. And if you try to force him to stay, he probably leaves on a free. So the best thing would be to sell him now if he's not going to be starting games for us. Bissouma would fit well in this team without a doubt. Yep. But again, one thing you must consider, we can only look at things and say that player will fit in well. But then again, managed systems differ, and hopefully that won't be an issue for these players that we're looking at. Let me see if there's anything else to read. And then Mikhail says here, Bissouma had some serious charges against him, so may not be available. Wow, so it's getting serious. Lee is correct. So he may well be the suspect, and I don't know. But I hope that's not the case. DJ Sab, I got notification and I thought it was Jules Kounde. Got really excited. Frank nearly lost his job. Yep, he nearly lost his job. It's really hard to get a second call. But as for Gerrard, he will end up there one day. Yep, it's really hard to get a second call, said Declan. I think he's referring to Frank Lampard coming back to Chelsea. It's going to be really difficult. He must have shown that he must show outside of Chelsea that he's a good manager and win quite a lot. Lampard will get a sack at Everton. Don't worry. I'm not worried. Look, since that he denied Roman, I've never liked him anymore. I think whatever happens to him at Everton is his own cup of tea. I don't want a sip of it. Let him finish it and him alone. Okay, that's the case. Chelsea going for Stefan Vigil. I don't know that player. Can you tell us more about him for a bargain of 15 million? Again, I'm going to skip everything. If I miss your comment, I'm going to try to come back to it again. To be honest, fed up. He's saying Gilmore is weak. Gilmore was due to go out on loan under Lampard. Tuchel, who talked him into finishing the season at Chelsea. Oh, okay, at Chelsea. Yep. All you mind readers knowing what. Yeah, again, I'm going to skip everything. Eugene Ikeda, Lampard lost my respect the day he... Yeah, exactly. Same with me. Again, you can say quite a lot of people there. Adi, nice to see you, everybody. And if I haven't said hello to you, hello to everybody in the chat. I will try. Jesus saying Hazard, struggled when he has been injured, says it all again. That's, by the way, coming back to the panel. Now, Rodrigo, tell us what you think about Declan Rice. Do you think we should even consider him? Do you think he would work well in Thomas Tuchel's system? Let us know, even without considering his price tag, his abilities alone.
On the ball, yeah. First of all, good news. Saul Niguez is going back to Atletico Madrid.
Oh, he's gone already. I think I read his farewell message. Go ahead, brother.
He can take Alonso with him. Yeah, so, and Declan Rice, obviously, putting the price aside, would he fit in our system? It's a good question. When you look at the way West Ham play, West Ham, obviously, in most of the games, they're counter-attacking team. And Rice is there to win the ball and move it forward. Actually, in his first season, it was more a defensive midfielder. But now in his second season, I feel like he's becoming more attacking, and he has help from what's the tall guy, Souček. I don't know. There's something. If you're paying £100 million for a defensive midfielder, you expect more. £100 million for me is a player that gets you goals, a player that creates chances for the team. £100 million is not just for one person to win you the ball in midfield. I think that sort of price tag is usually reserved to attacking players. In terms of his football ability, I don't doubt Rice's ability. Rice is a very good ball winner. He's good at distribution in a way, because West Ham rely on because they play on a counter attack. They rely on people releasing the ball quickly to set themselves up on for counter attack. And for a few times I've seen him doing that for them. How he released the ball quickly to the likes of Fornals or Antonio. And he's good at that. I wouldn't go to the extreme and say Rice is trash, is this, is that. No, he's a good player, very good player. If on a good price, Declan Rice he could fit in our team. He could even allow us to play. Obviously, he usually plays with a partner in midfield. I don't think he's ever played as a one-man pivot. So on paper, he has the ability to do so, because obviously ball winner, he has good energy. You can tell the guy plays Thursday, Sunday at a very good level, and one thing he's added to his game as well. He's added goals. He's added goals to his game, and he scored quite a few goals last season for West Ham. He's the one thing. Obviously, we're always gonna go back to that price tag. That price tag is reserved for.
The price tag is the only reason why you don't want Chelsea to go for him.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
So without the price tag, you'd prefer him over Bissouma and Sangaré.
Oh, now you are. Oh, no. You're asking me over someone else. No. So for me, if all equal, price, everything equal, wages, him or someone like Bissouma, I would go for Bissouma more. That's just my preference. What I like to see in the midfield. I feel like Declan Rice is like workman-like midfielder. He doesn't have that little extra that I'm looking for in the midfield. That's not to diminish his ability. So if all equal, price, wages, you put Declan Rice, Bissouma, Sangaré, and you ask me choose one of them. Oh my God, I choose Bissouma. Bissouma over. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I hate Bissouma is going to Arsenal. All Arsenal fans are getting. I've got a lot of Arsenal friends. They're getting excited. Apparently,
that he's going to Arsenal.
Yeah. Apparently, in something while playing on international. I don't know. I'm have to check that. Yeah.
Let's see what happens. Let me catch up with the chat quickly. Yes, I read something from Lee. Lee says we all knew Saul was going back. He was on loan. Yeah, but what if we signed him? Because we had an option. Yeah, to buy him. What if we signed him? So again, because there's no way to know whether we decided to keep him or not until we read that statement. So, but that's, by the way, 29 is agent, and you, Thiago Silva. What's wrong with people? Okay, he's talking to someone else. Says he's been released on bail, or did you think he was going to stay in jail? They're talking about Bissouma right now. I hope he's just a witness. Let's just say some people age faster than the others. I think that's another way to phrase it. Some don't even look like their agent. It's news and no false news. We will know after the court case. When is the court case and when we will know? I think if even he's going to court, and if Chelsea are not well acquainted with the story, not being sure whether he'd be locked up or so, I don't think they'd be going for him. They'll just forget about him. We need a proper DM, not a guy who can take the ball forward. We have Kovacic and Kante who can do that already. Here's the thing. We need, what you could call a hybrid DM, if you want, like Sangaré or Bissouma. You can ask them, you can instruct them to stay disciplined during games, and they can do that. That person doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a specialized DM for it to work. No, that's not how it works. Kante, you could argue Kante isn't a specialized DM. He's more of an eight, but he's learned to play that position. He can be disciplined if you want him to, But that's, by the way. Says, did I miss anything? Just Viola said here. Okay, he says, okay, he's talking to somebody there. Says we need, yeah.
Apparently, Bissouma shared a screenshot of an Arsenal fan saying, "We want Bissouma at Arsenal," and Bissouma shared that on his Instagram. That's why that got a lot of Arsenal fans excited.
Yeah, and I agree with True Blue here. Forget what West Ham are asking. I don't think any club will pay that much money. It will be negotiated down.
West Ham is not wanting to sell him. They're saying, but we do not want to sell We do not want to sell Rice this year. However, if you want him, here is our ridiculous price. Do you want to pay it? No, then go away. Please do not call us if you want to negotiate the price, because we do not want to sell him. They've said this so many times that it's gotten just like we don't want to sell Mason Mount. We're not going to sell Mason Mount for less than 100. So please stop asking for Mason Mount for 60 million, because we're not going to sell him. Same thing.
Chelsea, Newcastle, and PSG are interested in AC Milan for Rafael Leao. Leao is a brilliant player. Can we talk about him for a bit? Leao is a brilliant player. And if you're in the chat, let us know how well you know Rafael Leao. You see how we struggle to deal with low block teams. Rafael Leao will help you. He will weave his way into tight spaces and, help us, do something against low blocks team. Again, why? We shouldn't even waste time. I think we should pay, but I think his buyout, his release clause is ridiculous. Let me know. It's almost.
I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like he signed a new contract at AC Milan.
Can you say that again?
Sorry, I said I think he signed a new contract at AC Milan recently. So he's on a high release clause.
I think they're trying to extend it, or have they extended it already?
I think he did. I'm gonna have to research that. I think he did. And AC Milan also, they recently got bought by some American. Maybe they've got money now. So
I think Leao, we should be looking at Leao because he's such a fine player. I think he will be another Eden Hazard for us. And I'm actually preparing a video for him why Chelsea should sign him. I think you could argue one of the biggest problems of the current Chelsea team is that the inability to play against low block teams. Because whenever we play against teams that defend deep, all you see us do is pass the balls backwards, sideways, and not do, and not progress the ball when we're pressed aggressively. And teams have learned that. And that's why you see we struggled against Brighton actually.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah,
exactly. We struggled against. Was it again? I think Wolves. There are teams we struggled against because they've learned if you press us aggressively and defend deep, we're done. Most especially those the teams that are able to do the two things: defend deep, press well. Chelsea are done, and that's the biggest issue with this current team. But with a player like Rafael Leao, no matter how they defend deep, I think we'll be able to penetrate because his dribbling ability is awesome. Here says, where do you think Connor gonna play on the next season? A question. I think we should talk about it in a bit. I'm gonna highlight this and we'll come back to it a bit. And it's Super Tommy Tuchel. Nice to see you here, brother. Again, thank you everybody for 103 likes. But I know we can do better than that. If you haven't liked the video, please keep liking the video to help us reach more people. And, of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Great show. Thank you very much, John Farley. Nice to see you here, and I appreciate that compliment. You're far too kind, brother. That we wanted Lukaku to play the way Tuchel plays, and he couldn't. And that's another reason why we should be very cautious on players we're looking at. We should be strategic in bringing. We can't just go out and bring in another traditional striker and expect to that person to watch by some magic. I think it would be a huge risk. There's no way we're paying 100 million or more for Rice. I'm done singing overrated player for yeah, exactly. I think what happens is maybe Rice. I think He probably comes to Chelsea on a free if it is true, if it is fact true he wants to come to us. Ignore him for another year and get him on a cheaper price. That's the truth. That's the truth. But there are chances if we ignore him for another year, we may well get Bissouma or Sangaré or another defensive midfielder who's equally good or even better, and then we will not be looking at Rice again. 150 for Rafael Lau, and I'm not sure his last name is so difficult.
Leon, is that
Leon to pronounce?
He's Lion.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. He's a good player, and he's still young. I think we should try the best we can to get him, because if we waste time again, next thing you hear him talking about wanting to join Real Madrid or Barcelona, and we can't do anything about it. He's a gem. Yep. A raw gem if you want to, but I think he's good enough. It's more like, you can place him in the category of Eden Hazard, but the only difference is that he's more expensive right now. But I don't see AC Milan letting him go, not even for 100 million. Yep, he's that talented. Milan will make sure he doesn't go. He is brilliant. He can provide. He's very, very creative.
He's the only creative player.
Yep. Yeah, and you could argue no wonder why they quickly give him another deal. He's probably out of the buyout clause. Let me know he has signed another deal, yeah? Samsung 11 says
2024. He hasn't signed a new one that was meant to prolong it to 2026.
He hasn't signed the new one, so we have a chance.
That's why we're monitoring him.
Yeah, and would you count him? Let me just read this quickly. It's just to sign Rice now before it's too late, and how much did Liverpool sign Van Dijk from Southampton? For those who say that signing Rice is too expensive, for how much are you saying? Samsung. I want to ask you this question: would you? Rodrigo, that's you.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Would you say he would count as a Mikey signing?
Leao, I want to prop up my Angolan brother. So there you go. everyone I see, everyone prop up the Ghanaian, the Nigerian. I'm gonna prop up my Angolan brother here.
Go ahead.
Leao, he's exactly what we need. It will cost us. It will cost us what you pay for Declan Rice. You pay that for a hugely talented guy. He's only 22 years old. He's got bags of experience. Can play on the left wing, on the right. He's right-footed. He's got good height as well. He's nearly, I think he's over 6 foot. So you can even, I can see him, obviously, with coaching and improvement, he can be good in the air as well. I think he has unbelievable pace. He's good one-on-one. I watched him against Spain, Portugal against Spain. He gave Aspi, I know maybe Aspi's an old man now, but he gave Aspi a very, very, very hard time. Yeah, I think he's a good player. We should do.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Yeah, he represents Portugal, right?
I'm worried.
But you just said it
because he's from obviously like when you're from like Hispanic or like Portuguese speaking country. There's certain teams have certain when you play when you come from those countries, teams like Barcelona, Madrid, Milan, Inter, they're seen as these prestigious places. Teams to play for. So I don't know if he even sees Chelsea as anything. That's my only, because these players, when they're young, when they grow up, they don't dream of playing for Chelsea, for example. Their dream is Madrid, the Milan, because that's
South Americans do that a lot.
Yeah. So that's the football. The teams that they're more linked. They really want to go up. And I hear Madrid are also in for him. So. All we have to hope is we offer him more money than Madrid, and
get him now.
Get him now. Yeah, get him now. We get him now.
Go ahead.
We sorted. If we get him now, we sorted for next few years. But then again, will he want to stay here for maybe he'll fall in love with Chelsea and stay with us for a very long time. So yeah.
Yeah, and Madrid, they do know how to tap up players. Some players will actually go to another club, but their main target is Madrid. I don't know if they talk to them and say, probably just go to this club first, play there, we'll come for you next year. And you see players running down their contracts because they want to join Madrid. I don't know how they do it. But that's, by the way, John here says, our defense has been lost due to contract negotiations. The defense also scored many, many goals. That's the truth. We need a tight-knit defense. Here's where I'm concerned. Assembling a solid defensive line isn't as easy as buying an attacker or midfielder. It is the most difficult department in a team. To it's if you talk about assembling a team being a puzzle, that is especially true when you talk about the defensive line.
Communication is key.
You have to have the right mix. And what was perfect about our defense before all these departures is that Rudiger brings aggression. He's also good on the ball. He brings aggression. Thiago Silva is so, you can have it so cool-headed. Then even if you have 50 people coming at him, he doesn't panic.
No.
And he's able to lead with the way he plays. He doesn't even need to speak.
No.
That's the thing. So look at Manchester United. Look at the contrast between our defense and Manchester United defense. They have what I call, they have Varane, they have Maguire, they have who again? Lindelof.
Why is Maguire still on the England team?
Yeah, he's still, surprisingly. So they have Lindelof, and those three usually start. And those three, what they are ball-playing defenders, and that's it. Would you say they're really good defenders? I would say no.
No.
And I've made that argument before. So that's what makes our defense unique. We have a mix of pace, we have a mix of intelligence, cool-headedness, and we have a mix. We have in the mix of our defense, we had Rudiger, who is aggressive. Rudiger is the guy, when you want to play against Chelsea, you'd be scared. Then on the right-hand side, we usually have pace, no matter who starts. So again, that's why I say it's so difficult. That's why I'm really concerned. Getting it right it's not gonna work like this. It would take some calculations. It would take the scout or Thomas Tuchel looking at the attributes of those players and say, okay, we have to get that mix back again because it worked. But that's, by the way, here it says, this is where players like Pulisic and Dembele comes in. To be frank, we don't have players that can actually dribble confidently. Yeah, they can actually beat low block defenders. Most of our players do need space to operate.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
I want to, because you mentioned Kovacic and Pulisic. I think Pulisic is... I feel like he needs space as well, because all I see him do is run into people.
Mm.
Okay, sorry, I have to go now, so bye.
All right, no problem. As long as I'm good, as long as Rodrigo is still here, I think we'll do well. Big up, Blue. Chelsea again, Gabriel Omar, it's nice to see you here, brother. Kessie is very good too, but he's one of those that's bent on joining Barcelona no matter how poor, even though they don't have money. Again, I don't think he wants to come to us, and that's probably why Chelsea are looking at him. I don't know what they tell these players. Lewandowski wants to join Barcelona, knowing fully well they have financial issues. Kessie wants to join Barcelona, knowing fully well they have financial issues. They're even asking players to take a wedge cut. Same thing as Marcos Alonso. I don't know what they tell them. It says Wolves is Portugal development squad. You could, most especially under Nunes. Is it Nuno Esperanza or what's his name again?
Yeah, even the new guys as well, Bruno Lange.
Yeah. And to my brother, Couch Critic, he says, big up to you, brother. Nice to see you here. It's been a minute. I understand you've been on the road all this while. Couch Critic is a YouTube channel. He's a content creator from the perspective of Chelsea Football Club, and he does know how to analyze football.
I've listened to him on other channel. He's very good. He knows ball.
Yeah, he knows ball. So I urge you to go check out one of his videos before you decide to subscribe or not. But when you do, tell him I sent you. Nice to see that you're back, brother. And we wanted to do a collaboration, but he was on the road then. I think we'll fix a date and get it done. Again, let me see anything else to read here. Martinez is very talented. Skriniar is quite solid. Again, Inter are not going to give you Martinez. What about De Ligt? I like De Ligt. It remains to be seen if we can get him for less. His release clause is around 120 million, and he's refused to sign an extension at Juventus. So let's see what happens. I hope we'll get him. That's right. Sorry, I'm late, my brother. No worries. No worries. This is no obligation. I appreciate your support and your opinions even more. I think we should spend the money on De Ligt over Rice. I'd say the same too.
Yes.
Yep. I'd say the same too, since we can get somebody like Sangaré for 35 million or even less. So it makes perfect sense. Reports saying Tuchel wants De Ligt. If you want him, let's get him. But like our True Blue has already said, I don't think he'd already said, I don't think would pay 120 for me. I think we'll get him for less, so to speak. Madrid and Barca are the dream destination for any footballer. Not for any footballer. Most footballers from South America. Again, most English players don't even like going there. I learned that from Matt himself. They're not like South American players. The Ligt 120 and Rice is 150. That's 270 already. Yeah, good mathematics there. But I think we'd pay 120 for De Ligt. I think for De Ligt, we'll probably pay around 70, 80. And he's so young. For 70 or 80, I think he's still fine. That's the truth. Bringing De Ligt now to learn from Silva, become a true leader. JT, he's a leader already at this age. I think it makes sense to look at him.
JT 4.0. I want to know what's JT 2.0.
So he skipped 2, right? Yeah, he skipped 3 actually. So who's 2.0 and who's 3.0? Let us know, Libel. We want to know. It's a good question there because of Southgate. Says England is very, very stubby in the mediocrity. England has some talent. I think the whole thing comes down to the manager and who picks to represent England. Should we go in for Tolisso from Bayern, who is a free agent? I don't know, Yatos or Rodrigo.
Where does he play? Is he an attacker again?
I don't know him that well. I'm not sure where he plays. Let us know where he plays. I don't know him that well.
No.
Rafael Leo to Chelsea. Leo. How do you say it again?
Leon.
Okay, Rafael Leon to Chelsea, Pulisic to Liverpool. I think Pulisic is what more to the new owners than Rafael.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, that's one thing, given what he offers off the pitch. Because Maguire performs for England a timely one in about judging players on slow motion football. Oh my goodness. Couch created, big up, brother. Again, I think greatness recognizes greatness. Big up, Ali Bell. Please go check out Couch Creator's YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe to him. Again, if Palace is a first signing, the women's team, yes, at least we've signed somebody. Chelsea FC women are delighted. I think DJ has shown us this comment before. I wish we could get Tolisso. He has proven himself at number 6 many times. Wow, I didn't know that. I have to reach. Okay, he says, Coach, say Leo. Okay, Leo for okay. Thank you. I pronounce it like that again. I think Lee is my pronunciation manager, and we started with his name. So thank you for that. Salu 2.0 is who? Who's Tolisso?
Oh.
That's really not nice. Let me say, hi, Blue family. Let's just exchange Lukaku with De Ligt. Yeah, it sounds easy, but we'll see. And this is True Blue coming at me now. I know with a fight. How many times last time Barca restricted La Liga FFP? They are only allowed to spend so much on salaries. Once they reach it, they cannot register players. Hence, the young is going to leave. Is that what he's saying? I think that's what he means. Yeah.
They have to reduce the Spanish salary cap. FFP is very, very strict. They can't register any players.
Yeah. So let me do this poll before we start comparing the players. I want to get your thoughts. I think that's a question I highlighted. This one here to talk about it. Where does Conor Gallagher fit? To me, I have an idea. I'd say number 8, but some people are suggesting that Thomas Tuchel play him in the number 6 position. And my argument, where I don't think the club should play him in the number 6 position, is this: he's not that good in terms of reading games.
No, he's not good. He's not good at all.
Yes,
He's
and
not
then
good
again,
at all. I feel like he's good. He's not good. He's good at arriving in the box late, like a Frank Lampard, like that sort of player. He's not. I've seen him even at West Brom. I don't think he played as a 6. It would be risky for us to throw a guy like that in a double pivot. Double pivot is no joke. You need to be disciplined to be good at distributing the ball. So yeah.
I think I don't think even without being disciplined, I think the most important thing if we're really playing two at the back for the 2-6-6 is the ability to read the games. You know, again, So look at every time we've played De Ligt, De Jong, central spine. If we get those two, oh man, I do a serious giveaway here. You guys are not gonna believe it, but I doubt we'll get them both.
Isn't it the issue we have with Jorginho? Pace, running, sometimes it's very slow. Isn't it what we're going to have with the young? I don't know.
The young is quicker. The young is quicker. If you've watched him, he's quicker. He's a better tackler. You can argue, I think he's in terms of decision making, he's quicker too.
Okay. Because I don't know, I always feel like Barca were playing him further forward for some reason.
I just can't tell, but I think he will make a good sign, a good replacement for Real. Bro, I'm also available if Chelsea are willing to sign me for just £10 million. Thank you. Yeah. We'll reach out. I'll let them reach out to you. He says Skriniar has been mentioned. Okay, I don't know much about him. Can you educate us further? De Ligt and De Jong won't join Chelsea. If they're saying, if anything, one of them will join us. So you get with what you're saying about Conor Gallagher. Where do you think you fit? If it's not going to fit in the number 6 position, and I want to put out a poll so we can start comparing the players. But first, I want us to do. I really want us to do to complete the building of the 2022-23 lineup. Rodrigo, are you still there? Okay, I think.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Where do you think Conor Gallagher fits better?
And number 8, I think is he'll play where Mount. I think he's literally. I see. It's very tough for him to play in this team, to be honest. In a 4-3-3, yes, in this formation, maybe where Mount plays. Yeah.
Maybe I think it makes sense. Yeah, I think he can be rotated with Mount because he brings everything Mount brings.
Yeah.
Tuchel likes the 8, one of the 8s, to press very well, and that's what Conor Gallagher does quite well. He can press the life out of opposition players and force them into mistakes. You get that, and also I think he gets into the box. I think you can argue more often than Mount does, and he can finish too. I think that both players can be rotated for one another. What do you think about? Yeah, I think rotating him and Mount, because I don't think both can start together. If they start together, I think we'll be lacking something. Your thoughts? So maybe I'm gonna go ask the chat. Actually, let me see. My brother Eric Blue, how are you doing? Nice to see you here, brother. I hope you did well. And Thomas says, great show. Take care, everyone. Take care. You too. Again, nice to see you. Leo is pronounced Leo. Okay, Leo. Rhyme it with me. Okay, thank you very much for that, Leo. Okay. A great show. Okay, I've read that, and I've said hello to my brother Eric Blue. Play me as a CB. Okay, everybody nice is playing. Inter Milan are open to offering Milan. What's it called again? A Skriniar. If Chelsea want a swap deal for Romelu Lukaku, Lautaro Martinez is happy at Inter Milan with the Serie A giant preferring not to sell. Ben Jacobs. Okay, we'll see what happens. Again, it's the system. We are going to lose our players because of the system. Yeah. If the system isn't allowing, if the system isn't, accommodating the players in their respective preferred positions if you prefer, and it's the reason why they're underperforming. They may well they're looking to leave the club, and I wouldn't for any reason blame them for that. So again, it's only natural that again, when the manager has refused to tweak things to accommodate you, you'll be looking to leave. But I'd argue otherwise. Again, that's by the way. Let me see what I have here. Okay, yep, no problem. Thank you for coming, Rodrigo. See you next time. Says, what does it say here? Connor would fit better in a back four. At what position precisely? Okay. Than the back three. Again, can you explain further what you're trying to explain there? To me, I think he can play as one of the 2-8s in the back three. And then in the back four, like 4-3-3, that's where I'm not sure where will be the perfect place to deploy him. Lukaku should focus on his bugger arts. Yeah, thank you for that one. Go tell him. Will y'all all be open to keeping Jorginho for one more season and get a Jude Bellingham when he leaves? Okay, the question I want to ask you is Jude Bellingham. Remember this. I think either by design or by accident, I think the way Thomas Tuchel likes to play the ball, he relies heavily on a register, which is what Jorginho provides. That's why he likes Jorginho, to help the team keep the ball, control the tempo of the game. I don't know Jude Bellingham that way to argue whether he's able to fulfill that role in terms of having the team control the tempo of the game. And one thing you got to give Jorginho, though, again, he has his weaknesses. When you pressure him aggressively, he's able to control the tempo of a game, and he doesn't balk under pressure. But usually, he's been forced at times. We've seen him being forced into making some silly mistakes. But that's, by the way, I don't think Jude Bellingham. I think what's his name, De Jong, will probably be a better replacement for Jorginho, because I think he's able to do that. But that doesn't mean the manager cannot get the player to start to play in that manner. Again, this is my brother Couch Critic saying hello to Eric. And again, please, if you haven't, go check out Couch Critic's YouTube channel. A great analytical mind from a football perspective. If you want, check out your first and then decide whether to subscribe or not. Eric says, I did well, my brother. Nice to see you did well. And nice to see you, brother. Says, it's class accepted. I don't know him that way to accept it. I don't even know who that is. Why not convert Kante into a DM? He's capable of fulfilling the role. And I think that would actually be the better way to use him, because he wouldn't, not to request him to be running that much. I think he doesn't have it in him to run like that, like he usually does for 90 minutes and not even get tired. Again, we should play him in deploy him, play him reservedly for him because he gets injured easily these days. If you want to say it that way, we got to go to back four. Good luck. Discuss that with Thomas Tuchel. Let's see how it goes. How far with the deal of Kounde? Nothing is done yet until you see the guy holding Chelsea's shirt, taking a picture, and you see Marina put out a statement, and then you can argue it is done. He says it's not looking good for Chelsea, losing too many players and not available players to replace them. It is going to be a very difficult window. It will be a difficult window, but I think the club is smart enough to do something about it. Kimso Ben Jacobs has been right with a lot of the stuff he says, but like a lot of them, not always correct. Again, that's the truth. Connor, as a shadow striker, as he was at Crystal Palace, we'll see what happens. I think in those areas, I think Thomas Tuchel has his favorites. Chelsea midfielder right now, like the spirit. Again, that's another argument. Bissouma going to... Maybe that's how he's going to Arsenal. Maybe that would make a good joke for Arsenal players, but I don't want to, laugh at somebody for something serious about their personal life. That's not who I am. Jude Bellingham is class, says IC. Again, Bastoni will prefer sports because of Kante, possibly. Again, Lee says Jude will be a great buy, but he will have the English tax. And in what position would you play him at Chelsea exactly, Lee? I want to get that from you. Since Darwin Núñez is club's priority signing, they are working out a deal. Okay, let's see what happens. If they get them, good luck to them. Stress physical injuries to the wing backs disrupted the season. To balance this, would need 2 extra wing backs. Yep. Wing backs that are capable of starting. Also, proper wing play to create attack. Attack. So you make a good argument that Bellingham is brilliant, but he won't necessarily fit with us. Good argument there. Bellingham is a box-to-box destroyer. That's why, like, as if I knew, I said, will he, be able to do what Jorginho does? I don't think he can, given the little I've seen of him. John Ferry, Emerson, Sterling being recalled. Can you tell us more? How good is Sterling? You're talking about Dusan Sterling. How good is he? I'd like us to give him a chance if it's good enough. But with that, I want to ask again. Let me look at what we have here. We have 117 likes. That's brilliant. Thank you guys for that. And we still have more 85 people watching. And Just Viola has also, she sent me the list of the people who would be participating in Roman Abramovich tribute contest, of which if you win, you get to win $150. But we have a delay because we're still designing, the rules for the competition. It's not been finalized. That's what is delaying it. I'll see if we were able to do the draw so each participant knows the participant that we'll be facing. Again, please keep liking the video. And if you haven't, please also do subscribe to the channel. That will go a long way for us. Let me see. I think somebody sent me something. I'm going to try to look at it quickly. Let me see here if something I want to share with you, but I wanted to put out a poll. Again, okay. I'm reading something. Let me see. I don't want to share someone else's screen. Let me try and open it here. Just give me a second before I do. My screen is frozen again, but I wanted to show you guys something here. Just quickly. My screen is frozen. Oh, let me see here. It's just something important regarding Lukaku's transfer. I think it's important that we look at it, but let me keep going here. Let me see if I'm missing anything. It says Bellingham is a 6 like Kova and N'Golo Kante. Okay, not like Jorginho, not like a Regista. Jesus to Chelsea, not bad. It won't be a bad idea, but the question is, does Thomas Tuchel want him at the club? We don't know, but we'll see what happens. Loan Dusan to a Premier League. No, give him a chance. Give him a chance because we have lots of games to play. It's important that we do that. Again, I would say don't buy any CD and bring Lord Bakayoko back. Is he a countryman? Bring him back for what? Report says that Todd B is ready to go in for Rice if Tuchel really wants him. Again, if Tuchel wants him, let's get him for him, and I will support him. But he's not my first choice. I can't say that enough. And I've tried to explain the reason why I don't think he's my. I would say he's not my first choice. Again, if you're watching, please make sure to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And also don't forget to click on the bell notification button so you don't miss it anytime we're ready to go live. Let me see what else do I have here that I wanted to show you guys. I think I've seen them both. Again, let me go to this place here now. This is what I wanted to share with you guys here. 1 second, my screen is again frozen. I don't know why. Oh, that's crazy. You know why? And there you go. I think we're there. It is here. Again, thank you. Thank you, Just Viola, for sharing that with me. I sincerely do appreciate that. It says Lukaku's return to Inter Milan requires significant negotiation. Thomas Tuchel is happy for him to return, but clearly Boehly'ss won't let him leave unless the deal makes financial sense. Again, the aspect I want us to pay attention to again, two portions of the sentence or the two sentence paragraph I'd like us to look at here is Thomas Tuchel is happy for him to return. He's not going to say otherwise in public. even if he's not happy to have the player back, he's not going to say otherwise in public. It's that simple. He's the manager. He's the coach. He never come and say, I don't want. He's never going to come out and say in public, I don't want him to come back. That creates a situation in the dressing room. In the dressing room, when other players hear the manager say he doesn't want a certain player, so it doesn't make sense. And then here again, where he says, but Clearlake and Boehly'ss wouldn't let him leave unless the deal makes financial sense. Why do I highlight this here? That part of the sentence, that portion of the paragraph, if you prefer. It just shows that, again, we're facing a new reality here. Whether we like it or not, we're facing a new reality here. Like somebody like Roman Abramovich, if he's come to the conclusions, Lukaku is never going to work at Chelsea, we just find a way to get him to leave the club. But for the new owners, the businessmen, to them it's not about the fun. Yes, they support the club now, but they're businessmen. They don't unnecessarily. They're not going to sell players where the L is going to be huge. It will take time for the club, to recover from it. So now that highlights the new reality that Chelsea fans must come to terms with. We're never going to learn. But that's, by the way, I think that Lukaku story, I think, is really ended. Now, let me see other things. It says, no, Paradis is not a natural CDM. Bad idea. I wouldn't advise us to go for Paradis. Paradis, actually. Paradis, again, while he's good with long balls and all that, again, I don't think he's going to be quick and loud. He's going to do well in the Premier League. I think he's one of those players who also needs spaces to operate. He's more like in the Jorginho mode, and I don't think that's what we want. I'd rather actually we have a Billy Gilmore start games for us than Jorginho, and I've explained that a zillion times. He can progress the ball better than Jorginho. He's even shown that he can deal with the physical aspect of the Premier League better than Jorginho does. So with that, before I continue again, I want to ask you guys, please, if you haven't, do take a second to like the video. The more you like the video, the more people we can reach, and the more the fun the show will be. Please also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Let me see what else we have here to talk about. I think I wanted us to compare. Let me see if there's anything to address here. What if Lukaku doesn't leave and he stays? Should he be played? Yeah, he should be played. It's just as if you bought a product from a store and you took the product home and you don't like the product. It wasn't exactly what you wanted. And when you tried to take it back, if you try to take it back to the store where you bought it from, and you're learning you can't. You're not going to get all your refund. You're not going to get a refund for it. And then you take it back home, you start using it because you don't like it. No, you'll find a way to make the most out of it the way it is. So if Lukaku stays, he gets to play. We're not just going to let him sit on the bench. For Christ's sake, we paid 100 million plus for him, and we're still owing 70 million. Inter should give us 20 million plus. Skriniar, I don't see that happening. Again, we'll see. If it happens, I'll take it. Inter is broke. Yes, they are. And that's why they're looking to sell some players, to balance the books. Show us your search history. Yeah, thank you very much. Good question. I know where you're going to, but that's a good one. Release him from his contract is the worst case. Yeah, everybody goes their separate way because this is the opposite of a marriage made in heaven. It's being a marriage made in hell, if you want to phrase it that way. It says Lee says we're now in good place money-wise. So Boehly'ss is wanting to keep us in his place going forward. Yep, we have to learn. We have to learn, how to spend wisely. Again, what Roman does all the time is just throw money at the problems, like the client will phrase it. So we have to, come to terms with the new reality, which is no more reckless spending. Gilmore and Ampadu as our DMs, no, not both as starting players, maybe as players who would be be part of the team, be part of the squad, and gradually get to understand how the manager wants us to play. In Gilmore's case, I am disappointed, given that I'm hearing that Thomas Tuchel was the one that pushed him to go, help his friend out at Norwich City again, because he played, I think, 2-3 high-profile games under Thomas Tuchel, and he wasn't bad. Actually, he did quite well. And you could argue he started, to understand how the man wants his team to play, how every player that play, how it wants him to play. When you play for him in that position, he's gained ground under Thomas Tuchel, so it just didn't make sense for him to have gone alone. And we went and got Saul for how much weekly? I don't want to talk about it. I would not mind releasing him. That's how much he annoys me. Who annoys you? Lukaku? It's not that simple. If you release him, you still pay Inter Milan 7 plus. So let that sink in. That's why it's not that simple to get rid of, for both parties to call it quits. Sorry, I need a sip of my coffee too, so I don't slip off or maybe lose my voice. Gilmore is far from ready for Chelsea. Are you talking in terms of experience or what? I really would like to argue that with you, brother. But let's see, maybe another day. Gilmore had 2 months in first team appearances, and he did well. He didn't do bad. 1 in Champions League, 1 in the Premier League. In the Champions League, was it on the I think it was under Frank Lampard, correct me if I'm wrong. Gilmore didn't have the best season at Norwich he did, and that's all I can say. It wasn't his fault. And after all, a tree can never make a forest. Wouldn't playing Lukaku affect other players? Again, that's why I said, given this part of the sentence that reads, Thomas Tuchel is happy to have him return, is just what he's saying in public. Would he be happy that Lukaku pushed for a move in the first place? No, I don't think that would be the case. I don't think he'd be happy with that, but he's not going to come out and say it, But I think I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful and actually praying that by the end of the transfer window, he joins Inter Milan, but it remains to be seen. Here, again, say, H. Grimes says, we are having talks over Sangaré as he is a favorite of TT. Thank you. That's a brilliant news. That is a brilliant news. I really like the player. I really do like the player and would like to see him again at Chelsea. Because like I've argued, I don't know how people see it. To me, I think it's not in Liam, you let me know what you think about him. I think it's in that mold of, in that category of Yaya Toure kind of player, given the way he moves, the way he passes the ball, the way he glides through the midfield, and the way he finishes. He doesn't go for power. He's an intelligent finisher. He goes for finesse and placement. You let me know, Lem, if you think so. So I think he will be a good addition to our team. And again, given that he can score, he gets goals too. And the biggest issue we've had in the midfield area is the poor number of goals scored by our midfielders. Yes, Jorginho, was it 2 years ago or so, emerged, or a year ago, emerged as the highest goal scorer for the team, and he's a midfielder. But they all came, the whole goals came from the spot. So we need midfielders like Sangaré, who can finish well from outside the 18, who can put in good tackles, who can also read the game quite well. And some people argue he will not be disciplined enough. My argument is that it all depends on the instructions from the manager. And believe me, this guy is in the mode of Yaya Toure, if you ask me. So good input there from Liam. I appreciate that. I don't see if he flopped at Norwich. Ampadu flopped at Leipzig. He didn't flop at Norwich. It wasn't his fault. And Ampadu did not flop at Leipzig. Did you watch the game? It's just that he didn't get to play many games at Leipzig. Did you watch the game where he pocketed the Tottenham defense in the Champions League? And that's in a defensive position. That's how good Ampadu can be. But then again, we don't rate our players until someone else snatches them up and they start playing day in, day out. And then we realize how much mistake we make. Gilmore is not a CDM. That's correct. He is Jorginho's style of player. But here's the difference. Gilmour is a mashup of a CDM and a regista. Yep, he's able to read the game. He's able to defend well. And he's always in the right place at the right time to break up opposition play. And he can also control the tempo of the game. So he's a mashup. He's a hybrid player. He can fulfill the role of the CDM and also the role of a regista. So he's got both. And I would say he would make a perfect replacement for Jorginho and do even better. Again, that's my argument. If Lukaku stays, which is looking to happen because Inter are poor, we'll see what happens. But Gilmour is more physical. He's more physical, yeah, and he progresses the ball more than Jorginho does. Jorginho is always taking the easy way out, which is always sideways, backwards. Do you remember how Gilmour smoked Fabinho? Yeah, Fabinho of Liverpool. And I think it was during an FA Cup game. He's that good, okay? Someone has to take him. I mean, yeah, someone you got to control with Juju to come take him. It's never going to happen. No, I don't think Ndidi, in terms of his ball playing ability, I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. As a destroyer, I would want him. But would he walk under Thomas Tuchel as just a destroyer? I would say no. And it's as simple as that. His ball playing ability overall, I don't trust. His ability as a destroyer, winning tackles and recovering balls, yes. But is that what Thomas Tuchel is looking at? No. I think Thomas Tuchel prefers player who's able to still progress the ball even when opponents press you aggressively or come at you. He doesn't want you to lose the ball. Okay, so that's why I wouldn't suggest we go for Ndidi. Everyone is faster than Jorginho. I guess you could argue that. I says no way you will want Gilmour to be a CDM. Maybe where you pair him with someone else, I think he'd do well there. We need a strong CDM like John Obi or Asian. Yeah, you need a powerhouse, and I think this brother right here on the screen, Sangaré, we give you that. Calm down. Yes, tell Kimso to calm down. He's really fighting. Inter Milan are broke. That's the truth. That is a broke with the money paid for Lukaku. Massive con and disrespect to Chelsea by Lukaku. That's the truth. Inter Milan financing recovery out of scam deals. You could argue again, but they didn't scam us. We were the one that came looking for Lukaku, and they said, okay, this is how much we wanted, and they paid it. And remember, they signed Lukaku for 80 million plus. So I wouldn't blame them. Usually when you buy a product, if you want to sell that product, you sell for a profit too. So I wouldn't blame them. I blame our scout who looked at the fact that we had a team that created so many chances. The only issue we had was that we weren't putting away chances and decided, okay, we're going to go for a traditional striker. Also, I've been looking at those people that looked at the way Thomas Tuchel played at Dortmund and PSG and decided we need a traditional striker and brought in Lukaku, forgetting that if Lukaku comes in, we'd have to change the way we play to accommodate him, and which you've seen whenever he's on the pitch, even though we haven't changed the way we play, we do create less chances. But in his absence, we score more goals, create more chances, and look more fluid up front. So again, that's, by the way, indeed it doesn't fit our system. I love my countryman, but it's not for us. I see good argument. Yep, I am. Nigeria is my birth country, but the truth is, I can't just because of that and say we should sign Ndidi because I was born in Nigeria. No, he wouldn't work for us. Says I get Delete, Dembele, N'Golo Kante, Bissouma, Kai, and then a team of strikes. Again, that's quite a lot there. Instagram's reliable. I'm learning. People are arguing that she's reliable, but we'll see what happens. I need to watch this Sangaré highlights. You need to, but highlights alone, you need to find a full game of the player. Big up to you, my brother, from the Madiba land, Tobago. You abandoned me till they're alone on the panel, but I'll be fine. I'm just kidding, brother. I highly rate Sangaré. I watched some PSV games. I think he's really good. And I want to get True Blues thoughts on Sangaré. He hasn't said much about him, only to correct me that because the jersey he's wearing here is a Tulu game and not the PSV game. But that's a picture I'm always that I can only find on the platform that I use. Says here, I haven't seen much of him, coach, but this is not the first time I heard of TT liking him. Wow, then we should get him. We should really get him. My brother here says, hit the like button. Yes, we have 124 likes, but we can do better than that. Coach, remember I told you about Sangaré. You've told me, you've talked about him about a zillion times, and then now it looks like stuff is getting serious. Sangaré and Bissouma would be great. Declan Rice next season. If we sign these two players, chances are we will not go for Declan Rice again. Gilmore and Apadu didn't flop. Their teams just didn't play well, period. I think that's what it is. I see, okay, Mikel moved like a tank. He was taken out by a single pass, unable to recover. How big was Mikel? I don't want to talk about that. You're talking about my fellow countryman, and I'm not going to join you in killing him. Okay, let's go to comparing comparing the players. And again, if you haven't, please do like the stream and also subscribe to the channel. Again, I want us to use this tool here. Where do I have the tool? I think it's in this window to compare these players. Okay, let's try and compare. I'm going to add a play here. Let's compare Sangaré with Declan Rice. Let's see what happens. I'm going to search for Sangaré here. Where's the search button again? My screen. Sorry, it doesn't listen to me. Come on, stop doing that. I'm not sure what I have plugged in that is causing all these issues. Let me see if I close out some stuff that it's frozen again. Let's see if that helps the case. Okay, maybe I'll add Sangaré here. Oh my goodness, it's still not listening to me, so I'm not going to use that one. Let's quickly do something else. Maybe we'll come back to the comparison later. Okay, let's look at the attacking area here. We've fulfilled all these areas, so we may well come back and make a change this area depending on how serious the club is in the pursuit of Sangaré. So let me see, what else do we have here? It says All-Star. All-Star, yeah, he's been the comedian here on the show all day. After this show, I will check out Sangaré highlights. I need to understand what Coachila is talking about. Yeah, go look at him. And when you come back, tell me if I'm saying the truth on how I'm comparing him with Yaya Toure in terms of how he plays and his finishes. Again, you let me know. But the question is, will Chelsea sign him? There's a chance that happens, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Again, as somebody who likes Ajax, I cannot pass rational judgment of Sangaré. Okay, now I understand. I get your argument there. True Blue, I was trying to find your channel, but unsuccessful. I think he should share the link to his channel so that we can all go subscribe there. Get Declan Rice on a free, play the waiting game. If we really want him, we can play the waiting game. We don't have to spend all our money on him. Kelvin Emeka Nwannemadu. He says Alonso, Jorginho, Lukaku, Ross Barkley, and Cesar out. I think nearly those people, all of those may well be leaving Chelsea, but I think there's a chance Jorginho stays next season. Get Koulibaly and Kounde for sure. Koulibaly will not even show if we're looking at him right now. Yeah, no, keep Odoi. I think Thomas Tuchel would really want to keep him, if you ask me. And let me ask you that quickly, Rodrigo, since you find time to join us back. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Thomas Tuchel is going to keep Hudson-Odoi?
Yeah, I think he will. I think Tuchel likes him. I think Tuchel sees something in Callum. Yeah, I always see the interaction. He always likes to direct him. I feel like he sees there's something in Callum that just he's still young, and I think we forget how young Callum is because he's been on the scene for such a long time. we think we probably think he's like in the mid-20s. He's still a kid. There's still a chance that this guy can explode and become that player that we all expect. Again, if he doesn't, and what I like about him as well is he's in Cobham now training on his own. He's not going on holiday or anything like that because he's desperate to get back on his feet.
But I'm hearing that there's a chance he goes out on loan. I don't remember if it was DJ Sav that said that. Did you hear anything about him going out on loan?
No. The only thing I heard about him is he's back at Cobham, trying to keep fit.
So there's no chance he leaves on loan.
No.
Okay. Let's do what we wanted to do before. Let's try and plug in the number 9 position here. And again, I have to remind us, here's why this is different. What we're doing here, here's why it's different. It is dynamic. Nothing here is final. We're just plugging in the names. Then we're also at the same time following the club's activities in the transfer market. So, for instance, that's a chance we may come back here.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah, and say, okay, since maybe Kante is going to Manchester United, then we need a replacement for him there. Or we say, okay, maybe the rotating player for Kovacic would be maybe a Sangaré or Bissouma on the right-hand side. So we will still revisit those positions. But now we're going to the number 9 position. We can agree he prefers, even if he plays him alongside anybody else, I think Havertz here is the player that usually starts there. But we will try to get the opinion of those in the chat. Rodrigo, do you agree? Havertz is a starting.
100%. 100% agree.
So the question is, who do you think he'd be rotating with? Again, we're not linked with too many attackers, right?
Mm-hmm. So
we're not linked
to Gabriel Jesus.
And we're hearing Gabriel Jesus, but we're not sure he's going to come. There's nothing to prove that we're really serious about him.
Yeah.
Or do you think we're serious about him?
No. It's the same link as the Leao or any of these links. I don't think we are. I don't think we'll be that serious. I feel like Arsenal are more serious about him than us.
Yes. Yeah. And True Blue, by the way, go ahead, brother.
I feel like the link with us is a lazy journalist links. A player that's available from a team. What club is in the market to buy new players? Chelsea. So it's easy for them to link these type of players with us.
Yeah. Again, True says I made a valid point regarding Mikel and produce Makalele as an example of small DMs. I understand you don't care. I was just pulling your legs, and I know you know quite well. You like to joke quite a lot, so you should get that. Again, True Blue Mikel was never a DM. Mourinho. He was an attacking midfielder. Mourinho converted him into a DM, but he did quite well actually and made a name for himself. No matter how you see it, he's got to be one of Chelsea's most underrated players. But that's not why we're here today. Again, I want to ask people that are watching right now. We have 126 likes. Let's try and shoot for 200 likes. Yes, we have a few minutes to round off the show, but please, if you haven't, do like the video to help us reach more people. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Says we could get Rice for free when he's 25 or 26. That will still be great. Yeah, exactly. And the chances are we're not going to pay that much money, even 80 for him, because we still have a lot of signings to make. So I don't think the club would be willing to pay 80 for a midfielder. The club may well decide we can do what we have this season. Then during the January transfer window, we'll continue the rebuild process. Again, that's me, and still get him on a free. But the chances are, if we sign Bissouma or Sangaré, we're never going to sign Rice again because he wouldn't see space. I see us buying 5 players overall, around 3, 4. I wouldn't say 5, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Odoi could be a backup wing back to Reece. That's a chance that becomes the case, and there's a chance he rotates with Dembele. But we'll see what happens because we're placing Dembele as the one of the starting 8s here, as you see, and with the votes in the chart, people picked Pulisic over Ziyech. I just don't know why, but we'll work with that. And again, this is dynamic. We will continue to changes as we monitor the club's activities in the transfer market. No I see fours. Okay, that's again 2 yes. Okay, having a conversation here. Says or swap Lukaku for Skriniar. Again, you've said that a million times. I don't see that happens. If it happens, I'll take it. Although he's a fantastic player, was awesome in the Europa game, was awesome under Asari until he got injured, helping us win goals and assists and all that. I think he stays, and Thomas Tuchel sees the potential in him. Lautaro Martinez for Lukaku swap deal, and we add them RLC. Again, let me explain this again. Inter Milan wants to sell. Inter Milan wants to sell. They need money to balance the books. They're required to show some profits. So they could care less what Chelsea want. We still owe them 70 plus. So they want money for. They want money. They don't want player exchange at this point. He's a lot of explosiveness. I think he's talking about Sangaré. I think so. Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, he will be good for us. Again, make sure to go check out Couch Critic YouTube channel. Great football analytical man, and I think you'd really love the way he plays. Believe me. Again, let's continue here. Says True Blue. Yes, I agree with you. About size, it can work. No, size isn't an issue for DM. So again, I'd argue that. Okay, back three, Koulibaly, and again it says Man City have turned down an opening bid from Arsenal, and Jesus not interested as he wants Champions League football. So if we really want him, he may well come out to us. And how many years does he still have on his contract? I believe it was his youth agent offering him to us. That may well be the case. And Kunku Kounde Dembele, again, I've read that. Let me see where to catch up here. Kimso, have patience. What else haven't I read here? Again, Obi always have my support. I support him. I think he's a good player. Arsenal close to signing Tillsman and Bissouma. Let's see what happens. Maybe Bissouma is going to the prison near Arsenal, just like True Blue says. Yes. Yeah, and Kuku is just one season wonder. Let's wait and see. And then when you try to buy him again, you'd hear that his price tag is $1 zillion. Yeah, I had in Kunku. Again, that language again. Be careful how you use it. It's going to get you into trouble. Okay, coach. Here it goes. I have to think ahead of a DM coming off Holland being successful. Schneider, Ericsson, mostly ball playing, attacking meals, the ones to succeed. Again, that's a good argument. You make a good sense, but I really like Schneider then, and he did well under Jose Mourinho. Coachila, Rice is not the answer. Bissouma is the better option. Bissouma or Sangaré. Rice is too costly for me. The team looks good. Then I could not see where the goals were coming from. Again, that's why I said we're building the team based on what we're hearing. And that's why I said also, this is dynamic. Nothing is final. As we see the activities, of the club in the transfer window, as the transfer window opens, as things develop, we'll come back to it, make changes as necessary, and be until the transfer window shuts. That's just that. Couch Cricket, how are you? Just saying hello to him. Pretty good, my guy. Been a minute. Yes, been a minute. And this is Gustavo S.A. Chelsea needs a DM, that's for sure. And Gustavo, by the way, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. I'm quite sure this is the first time I'm seeing you here. So welcome to the family. And again, I hope you're enjoying the show. And please, if you are enjoying the show, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also do tell other people about the Blue Morning Show. Again, says back for here we go. Yes, I know it's not happening. It's not really happening. So you're saying the truth.
Me and True Blue will never agree on that.
yeah, because the manager has actually said openly that he's not gonna do that. I want to see Rafinha at Chelsea. I'd like to see Rafinha too at Chelsea. The question is, are we looking at him?
No.
And let me ask you this. Let me ask you this again. I think I agree here with Triblu. Cho needs a loan. If Thomas Tuchel cannot guarantee him a starting place, that is guaranteeing him more games. Let him just live on loan because he's such a great talent. But maybe he gets the chance coming season. But we'll see. Dembele is good, but I fear he's injury prone. He hasn't been injured for a while. Maybe that has changed. Phil Leo Money again. Like, I think it was, who said that? I think it was Entertainment said something like, getting married, or you go hear what said getting married does change a whole lot of stuff. Maybe he got married, and maybe that helped stop his injury problems, but I don't know. So, again, your thoughts on Kyle Hudson-Odoi, Rodrigo, do you think we should let him go on loan? But I think for selfish reasons, I think Thomas Tuchel may well decide to keep him.
Exactly, to keep him. Yeah, for selfish reason as well, I'll try to keep him. But for his own development, I think I can see why he needs to go on loan. I wouldn't sell him. I wouldn't sell him yet. I'll keep him. I want to see Callum for another 3. I'll give him another 3 years because he's so young. He's only 21. He's really, really young. I want to see him. I want to see some improvement in his game. And maybe going on loan is probably, again, when we're talking about on loan, we can't just sell him on loan to anybody. This is a guy that we need to really look at the team that he goes on loan to. We don't want to do what we did to Boehly'ss, sending him on loan to Norwich. I feel like that was a bad move. I think Boehly'ss should have gone to Leeds. The player more intense, more. He would have had more chances there as well. With Calvin Phillips was injured for the most part of the season. So again, so the reason I'm saying this is that when we're looking at Callum, we send him on loan, but we're not gonna send him on loan to what teams are there?
Norwich.
We need to send him to Norwich or to a Fulham, to a Brentford. I want to send him on loan to a really good team where he can learn. Like I was really keen for that Dortmund loan last season.
No, they will tap him up. He's never going to come back if he goes that. They will tap him up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. You want to...
I don't want to risk it, really. I don't want to risk it. I think I prefer him go to Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah.
Something
Palace,
like that, where the manager understands his talent and will make the most out of his talent. And then they're not even going to bother signing him. I think now you could argue we have a good relationship with Crystal Palace. And maybe every season give them one talent, one academy, one of our academy graduates. And with that, I want to say, Lee, thank you very much for all the great inputs today in the chat. And I appreciate all your support to the channel. Thank you. And here Gustavo says, Rafael Leo is a good player to Chelsea. He's a good player if we're willing to pay his release clause, which is 100 plus. And it remains to be seen whether whether AC Milan would be willing to sell him. I think they don't think. Chelsea's CDM options are Hedera, Chaik, Decore, Bissouma, Sangaré, Ampadu, and Ajax CDM. Let's see. You get me confused even more, Kimso. Yeah, Kimso, give up on the Ajax Mexican. We have no interest. That's a fight. Spartan Rodrigo, Cho should not be sold. No, he shouldn't. This guy's potential is the great, is the greater, too greater to ignore. Titi will keep him. I see he rates him. He rates him very, very highly, though, and he did say he wasn't going to let him go anywhere. I like Crystal Palace. It has a soft spot in my heart. It does, probably because of Vieira. You would say that, but Chelsea is. Again, the reality is that we can sign every player. We cannot. That's just the truth. Again, let me come back to you, Rodrigo. What are the other options? Let's add Timo Werner. Do you agree?
Yeah, Werner, yes.
And also, what's this guy on loan? Broja on loan. Let's leave Lukaku out.
Yeah.
Okay, or should you just add Lukaku to the poll for the sake of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The poll, yeah, add him.
Yeah. So let's say...
We'll get no vote.
Yeah, go ahead. So I'm going to ask competition for Kai Havertz. I think that's a better way to phrase it, because I think Tuchel prefers him to, the attack is always fluid when he's out there. Competition for Kai Havertz, because the truth is we've not been linked to any number 9 right now. But let's see what happens for Kai Havertz. Let me say, we say Lukaku is one of them, and also Werner.
Mm-hmm.
We also have Broja, but Werner may well leave the club, but you never know. We'll see what happens. Okay, Broja. So let me ask the community and see what they say. We wait for them, and once we get that answer, I think we'll call it a day. Probably tomorrow we get a chance to compare the DMs we talked about. Again, I'll be reading their comments while we wait for them, the poll to come back. Let's see what people are saying. Let's see what happens. Werner 100% so far. I think maybe just a single vote, but we will see. And again, what was another comment I wanted you to talk about? I think we've talked about this actually, where I asked us about our opinion on Gabriel Jesus. I think I said he will work under Thomas Tuchel, but his numbers aren't the best. But his numbers, you could argue, are better than what we have. I think outside of Lukaku in terms of how many goals scored. I'm not sure how many goals he scored this season. Rodrigo,
13. I think 13, something like that.
13, so it's not far away. Lukaku is 15, right, this season?
Yeah.
So,
I think 13, it's probably it's not that high. It's not that high at all.
But probably he has more assists.
Yes, yeah. With the way Man City play, and I'm actually surprised he didn't score as many goals because he didn't get that many games as well. He didn't get as many games as Lukaku. Probably he played less games.
Yeah, and True Blue here says, Coachila, we have shown no interest in Alvarez of Ajax. It's not a fight. No, I know it wasn't a fight, bro. You should know me well to know that I would like him and Anthony, but we have shown no interest. Yep, I know. Again, I get your point. TT will look at Broja in preseason before making a decision on him. He will not be sold from reports going around. None of them are tier one journalists. Here's the thing. Why I know Chelsea, isn't going to sell Broja. He has almost 4 years left on his contract. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I think he signed a new contract before he left. So he should have almost 4 years. Yeah, or a little less. So Chelsea they could be less. They'd still be able to send them out on, say, go out on loan to another Premier League club and get ready for Chelsea. I think he may well accept it. There's only issue when he has just a year left on his contract, just a Billy Gilmore. That's when we end up losing the player. But now the club will be in a very strong position in terms of negotiating with Broja because he still have a lot left on his contract. But again, your point makes sense. I don't think the club would want to sell him because they've seen that he's got the potential. And my prayer is if Lukaku leaves, then there's 90% chance or even more that Broja stays. Your thoughts, Rodrigo?
Okay. Sorry. Can you repeat your
question? Thoughts on the chances of Broja staying or going? But I think he stays. I think the chances is huge if Lukaku leaves.
Yeah. If Lukaku leaves, there's chance he stays. I think more likely to get loan. He could get loan. It depends obviously on Lukaku. If Lukaku stays, he leaves, he stays. I see him being an integral part of the preseason. He will get a few games in preseason, and they will stay. Yeah, he will go. I think he'll probably go to the wire. We'll find out where his situation to the last few weeks going. Yeah.
It is. Again, my concern is that truly the Lukaku. The Lukaku situation is very, very complicated, and we all know that it's not as simple as people think it is. Everyone say, just let him go, just let him go, just let him go. No, it's not that simple. And again, we'll see what happens. Here says again, if you're watching, yes, we're just waiting for the poll. We'll end the poll in a bit, and then we'll end the show for today. We'll do the comparisons for the DMs tomorrow. Again, we end the show in a bit. But if you haven't, we have 128 likes. Thank you for that. That's not easy. We were looking for 300, but 128 isn't easy. So if you haven't, please do like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 2,689 subscribers today. We're aiming to reach 3 subscribers in a few days. So please keep liking the video and also subscribe if you haven't. It's a problem when you allow a lot of players go. These new players are now going to adapt. That's very true, Anaba. Adapt to the system and the environment, and that worries me. And even that's a very good point there. Only signed a new contract before he went to Southampton on a 5 year, so he's still got 4+ left. So I'm correct. Thank you very much for that. Gabriel is the same kind of player like Timo, but more technically gifted than Timo Werner. It says James Schwartz, the window isn't open. We have only had a license for contracts for 10 days. Everybody on international duty defense. I'm not going to talk about that to myself. It will be wise to keep Broja. Our players are injury prone, and he's like a target man, a good option to have on the bench. I think let's not be selfish about that. Something else, again, Rodrigo, your comment on this while I check on the poll to see if
Nah.
it's time to end it.
That is a joke. Come on, Werner's got no skills. He's got Jesus is 10 times the player Werner can ever be. Werner, only thing Werner has is speed. Even then, he doesn't use the speed properly. He runs away from when you see him running, he runs away from the goal. No way. I'll take Jesus over Werner any day.
Yeah, but Werner will practically, here's just really again saying, again, you're absolutely correct, True Blue. Yeah, again, here's just really saying again, just let him go. Yeah, it sounds that easy. If I snap my finger, Lukaku leaves. Again, here's the thing. I want to look at this poll here. Is hilarious. Not a single person voted for Lukaku to stay. I think I'm gonna take a snapshot of that and share it with people. I'm serious about that. What the heck is going on here? Did you hear what I said, Rodrigo? Have you looked at the poll?
No way. Lukaku's winning.
Winning where? Lukaku hasn't gotten a single vote. That's what I'm saying. Unless if somebody feels like they need to do him a favor and just give him a single vote now.
They'll probably do. I wouldn't vote for him. He needs to go.
Honestly, so I'm going to end the poll, but I want to take a snapshot of that because I want to share it on Twitter. Again, 17 votes, and he didn't get even one. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
How many people voted?
17 votes.
And he's got 0. Wow.
0 votes. Yeah, it's still 59 for Broja and then 41 for Timo Werner. So let me just try and get a screenshot of that because I really do want to share it. This is a serious, I have to be honest. It is no joke. How possible is that? Wow. Okay, I have it here. Let me save it immediately so I don't lose it. Save as, okay, I'm going to call it Lukaku poll. I'll come back and I'll close the poll so we can call it a day for today. We'll do the comparisons tomorrow. The software I wanted to use didn't work. And again, I wanted to start something that's going to be on autopilot. I wanted to stay when TT gets fired. It will work. I think you're probably the one that gave him the single vote I'm looking right now. True Blue, why would you do that to me? But I already get the snapshot I like. But 5% still shows like it's only one person. But that's why I'm going to end the poll now. Oh my gosh, it's still 48 Broja, 48 Werner. Should we give it one more minute? Rodrigo, what do you think?
Yeah. So at least
let's give it. Okay. I want him to stay when TT gets fired. TT's not going to get fired eventually. I think he would do well. Let's see again what we have. Is Hakim leaving? It's not in the lineup. What line? Again, probably people figured he's leaving, or probably people don't like him that much. If it was me that was picking the lineup, I'd add him there. That's how much I like Hakim Ziyech. But unfortunately for me, it was just all up to me. We did a poll, and people in the chat picked Christian Pulisic over him. For some reason that I do not know. Again, that's what happened on that day. We're going to give this poll a bit of time. Again, still 48 for Broja and Werner. And again, 5% only for Romelu Lukaku. I don't know. And it's 21 votes right now. So we'll wait to see if somebody adds to the vote. So yeah, 5%. Now I think it was True Blue. He's the only one that will vote for him because he wants him to stay. Is it 5% now? Yeah, I saw that too. Is Hakimi leaving? Hakimi leaving? We're not sure. To me, if you ask me, most likely because he'll probably, like I've said it before, the way Tuchel treated him, even when he was on form, and I don't think he's played as much as he would have loved to. But the question remains: would the club let him go? I don't know. That's, by the way, it says nobody is gone yet. Yep, nobody's gone yet. That's the truth. No, not even wanting to try and make it work with us. I think it's a risk also. We now should go also. I think he needs to run out, but we'll see what happens. Again, please wait for the poll to be completed. If you haven't, please be sure to like the video, participate in the poll, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I didn't vote. Okay, so it wasn't you. Okay, thank you. Maybe Tobago, but Tobago isn't here right now. True Blue, are you the person who voted for Lukaku? Everybody is calling for True Blue's head in case he was the one. Let me see here. Lukaku is not. He's not bad. He says the problem is the system of the coach. I think you have a friend in the chat. True Blue will most likely like you, Seko Munimi. Again, that's true. Again, the Gallagher suit playing in 3-4-3. Maybe he plays as one of the eights, given how Tuchel describes his excellent stream as always. A chat tomorrow. Nice to see you, brother. Please stay safe. You know we love you here, Liam, for all the great input. I'd like to see you tomorrow. I think we're going to end the stream in a bit. Lukaku should go. Do you know how much oil was spent on him? So now Emeka Biko, stop. So now we spent oil on him, not money. But that's, by the way, Emeka, it looks like this is the first time I'm seeing you here. So if you haven't, please take a second and subscribe to the channel to help us reach 3,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So let me just end the poll so we can end the show. It's been a minute. It goes back to 48 again. I think for obvious reasons, I think we should just give it to Broja. Why? Because Werner will most likely leave. Your thoughts?
Yeah, you should give it to him. Yeah. I think he's going back to Germany.
Yeah, he will most likely leave us. And I think his former manager has come out openly and made statement that we don't use him well here. Lukaku needs to leave. Does not fit Titi's system. It's as simple as that. His heart is in Inter Milan. How can Chelsea fans want a player like this at our club? I think so much that has happened, that doesn't help his case. I think it's best he leaves. So I think since he ends in 48 for Werner and Broja and just 5% for Lukaku, I think we should just give it to Amanda Broja. And here he didn't want to play for Chelsea. Yeah. In the first place, he didn't want to play for us. So with that, again, we've come to the end of the show. But I have to plug in Broja here. And if you haven't, please be sure to subscribe to the channel to help us reach 3K subscribers as soon as possible. Again, why am I having issues? Again, my screen is slowing down. I don't like it when that happened. It's frozen, but I think I may have to add that later. Let me try one more time to see if I'd be able to do that. Again, so sorry about that, Kai. Or should I just... I think I'm going to add it. We know the player. Okay, there you go. Let me just add it here. And the player we just decided to add there is Broja at this moment. And as we follow the club's transfer activities and preseason, who's gone and who remains, then we'll be able to say, okay, make changes to the potential lineup, if need be. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. And I want to say thank you to my brother, Rodrigo. Thank you to everyone that's in the chat from D Blue who just joined us. I think this is your first time here on the show, participating in the show. If you haven't, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to Just Viola, Queen of the House. Thank you for helping keep the house clean. Thank you for DJ Zaf for the updates, live updates. I must say thank you. to True Blue for all the great input and educating us. Thank you to Aluva. Thank you to everyone else who's been here. Thank you to Christian Lekenry. I appreciate that. Thank you to Jerry. Thank you to Jam Sports Entertainment. And if I miss your name, my apologies. I'm only human. And with that, we've come to the end of today's Blue Morning Show. I don't know if we'll have an evening show today. If it is possible, you'd see me schedule it. Thank you so much. God bless us all. See us later, and bye.